Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Hack the Box Ottawa Meetup. I'm your host, JF Provost, and we have our good friend,
Steve Bowers.
Steve
I didn't know you were expecting me to say it, making me do some work already.
Maybe I should put my last name too, but either way, yeah, really happy to have all of you guys here. There's a bunch of stuff. I mean, like the weather is still good outside, especially if you're here in Ottawa. So we've been treated good. I know a little bit before that, a couple of days before, I can't remember like how many days, it was a little bit somewhat of a disaster, right? Some issues happen sometimes around the houses, but that's fine. I mean, we all survive, we're all here and all that stuff. So what's going on with you, Steve?
Oh, not much. Just busy. Things aren't getting any easier on the blue side of things. So, just trying to have some fun while I've got the rest of the summer here. And, as people get back to work, back to school, it's going to start getting messy again. So.
Back to school, big time, right? I know that one of the clients I work with has co-op students and they're leaving. I think it was today they're leaving from university. So that's something, again, that's losing extra work or at least extra muscles there to be able to accomplish some of the tasks. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but at the same time, it's good for them, right? They're going to be able to achieve something quite substantial and then eventually go on their own. So I mean, like the one we had, without saying really his name, really good student, and really happy to have him around. And the way it looks like is he seems that he wants to keep going. So he tried to apply for a job after, right? As soon as he come back. So finishing school and all that stuff and have a job right away. That's going to be like in, if it's not close to six figures, going to be, if it's not in six figures, it's going to be close to six figures after university.
Nice.
So how many people can actually say this? That's quite impressive. And we're not talking about, let's say, master's degree, right? We're just talking about a degree, actually. So there's a bunch of stuff out there that can be very readily available for you as long as you're willing to put up the work. And then once you have your chance, you take it, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, so that's what it is. I see here we have, we have a bunch of people talking right now. So hello, Abbas Ali. Happy to see you here. Preston as well. Hey guys, you guys rock it quick. Happy to have all of you here. We have 17 people right now all from YouTube right now. So that's good. So this is also the first time we're streaming on multiple platforms. So I'm able to see everyone actually comment there. At least I think so. If there's anything I'm missing, feel free to just go in the description or join our Discord channel or Discord server, I should say, and then join the channel there. So I'm going to take a look. Yeah, there's nobody that wrote on Discord right now, but anywhere, like if you're not sure exactly how you can communicate with us while we're having an interaction with us, make sure you choose one of those platforms. And if you're not sure, I guess you can go on YouTube and type in Hack the Box Ottawa Meetup, and you should be good to go. Maybe that's something I should put as a kind of something to advertise so people can know where to join if they're not sure how to interact with us at 100%. But either way, if you're on YouTube, you can easily click on the link to be able to join the Discord server. So that's pretty good at that point. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Yeah, I mean, like there's something that's coming up. Maybe I can talk about myself a little bit right now, if you don't mind, Steve, for 1 second. Right, this is something that we've been working for a little while, but I'm trying to push it even more. I'm going to put my screen up. So basically speaking, right now, this is the website of Malvik Security, which is my company, right? And we are a partner with Hack the Box and Immersive Labs, right? And we are going to provide blue, red, and purple training, but a lot more to the masses. So if you're interested, you please subscribe to the website there. And then once we go live, you're going to be informed about it. So most of the training so far, it's going to be a mix of our own training that we are building up, but also a mix where we are going to go much more in depth into Hack the Box and Immersive Labs and offer different type of training and perspective depending on what is your interest and so on, right? So it's going to be different aspects. So then also, I mean, like it's quite early. I started a blog as well too. So that type of stuff is going to be coming up as well. We're going to go much more in depth. So if you're interested into learning about it, what I have to say and so on, that's something that could be very interesting to a lot of people there. Okay, good. Let's come back here. All right, so we got, oh yeah, see here we have Abbas Ali. Are there any pen test job that requires CPTS as an alternative to OSCP? I would say right now that CPTS is quite early at this point, right? So I would just assume that if you want to compare to OSCP, I mean, like, to me, to be honest, right, I would take CPTS over OSCP like right away, right? I understand what's the concept behind it. I've had students that actually took also CPTS, and the way to describe it, like, I haven't taken it myself, right? I got OSCP though, but the way that they're describing it, it seems that it's a lot harder. So at this point on, to me, and also the course that I've seen in both sides, it seems that CPTS will have more value, but not right away. I think it's going to be on the long term, as CPTS has been proven to be something pretty good. There's also someone that I know as well, Newtune, I think that's his name, I can say, or his nickname. EU CPTS has a way to be able to get a job, and he got one, I think, like 2 weeks ago. His first one in pen testing, and then he was able to use that certification to be able to get in there. So that's another thing to keep in mind that can probably get people very interested into getting CPTS done, and that's something as well that I'm looking at building up. Right now, I'm working a little bit more on CBBH, the bug bounty hunter certificate, right? And then I'm looking at potentially go do bug bounty hunting. So then we can have like a path from learning how to get the pen testing done, right? And actually starting getting a job out of it without having to give your resume somewhere else, right? So then we could have, let's say, be part of a bug bounty program, and we work together as a team, and students, instructor, and all that stuff, and then we get there, and then you get to understand the whole concept. So that's something that could be very interesting long term. And then we have also Steve, I think, that's working on the a course that's coming up eventually, right?
Yeah. I'm getting kind of hardcore into the resilience side of things. So first things first is trying to build out the basics, vulnerability management. Something that I've seen boggle a lot of organizations because they see so much noise, but they don't pull the signal out of it to be able to say, here's what I actually have to do. So that's really what I'm working on there. And just, I think training in general enhances resilience, because at the end of the day, if we're going to actually keep going while we're under attack, we have to have the people in place who know what they're doing to make sure that we have that resilience within the organization.
Yeah, exactly. Give me a second. I got someone that's requesting access here to the platform. Yeah, if you want to get in there. So I got test08. I need to know what's your actual username. Because if you go directly on Discord, I can give you access to the same machine that we're going to be hacking. And on top of this, we are going to get other, like, there's two other machines. There's Sherlock, right? Where you're going to have to, I did put a description. Give me a second. I'll just ask that question here for this guy. And then after that, I'll give you some sort of description of the other two challenges that are included within the platform. Oh, he wrote back to me. Okay, so if you give me your Hack the Box account name, don't give me your one, like the one on the public side. That's the enterprise side, right? So that's the one I need to be able to give you access there, and then be able to move on. All right, so let's see. I put on their announcement over here. All right, so there's one that's called Noxious, which is the Sherlock, where the player will have to go through network traffic, uncover credential stealings, techniques by abusing the LLMNR protocol features by window. The player will learn also how a victim made a typo navigating to a network share, and how the attacker was using the responder tool to steal the hashes and pose a legitimate device in the internal network, right? So there's a bunch of stuff that happens. So basically speaking, the FIR, it's a digital forensics and incident response that you would have to go through as a scenario. You probably have some files that you have to go through and find the answers, right? And then the next one, it's I wrote down reversing engineering. It should have been the crypto. that's in there, right? So that's what it is, a crypto challenge, which is called Brainy's Cipher. And then over there, like you have to go through with, like the person says they created a way to be able to secure passwords, right? But the thing is, you as a challenger, you need to be able to decipher it. So you're most likely going to have to take a look at the code and be able to reverse the whole thing. All right. So, okay. I just need to get something here again with this guy. Oh, maybe I'm going to check. Hold on. Sorry about that. So, do you have anything else to add up, Steve?
Yeah. Well, if I need to take up some time, yeah. It's becoming, I guess, a little bit more of an issue nowadays with, like, I think there's so much training and stuff going on that, like, there's so many websites, there's so much kind of scattergun approach to, here's random training, why don't you take this, why don't you try this, and it's trying to take everyone's attention away from what problem is it that we're trying to solve. So I believe that when it comes to trying to identify training, trying to identify a provider, it's always cool to work with someone who's providing, you know, various training courses to help identify what it is you're actually trying to do, rather than just let's credential up and then see where it sticks, right? So I think I know that JF and myself, we kind of have different ends of the spectrum on what our training courses tend to be. So we complement each other in a lot of good ways, and you know, we have an end game with what it is we're trying to do, rather than here's a million courses and just pick and choose what you'd like.
All right, so good, perfect, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, and that's what's mind-boggling, right? Obviously, like I just showed you that I'm starting my own school in a way, right? The thing that bugs me the most is there's so many choices out there, right? On where do you need to go? And then it's the same thing as, like, let's say you get a subscription with Netflix. Right now, you want to watch something on, I don't know, on Paramount Plus because there's that new movie that came out, but it's just there. So what do? You get that subscription to. So that's the biggest issue I'm seeing here. And what I want to try to figure it out is a way where I'm going to be able to provide support for students that are looking for almost kind of like a one-stop shop for training, right? So if you have different type of trainings from different platforms, you don't have to choose all the other platforms. You choose one platform where you have access to, well, pretty much, right? So this needs to be hashed out 100%, right? But this is where the idea is to be able to move forward. So yeah. Yeah, good. You should have access now. Okay, good. Perfect. So this machine here, the one we're going to be playing with, it's called Timelapse, right? So it's a machine that's can be very interesting. And even though it's easy, we can also relate that machine to a lot of different things out there, right? So if we heard about Uber that got hacked, right? So there is some stuff in there that can be learned from that with clear text credentials. We've seen a little bit more in the past with during a different meetup event where there was other stuff happening as well that were either clear text or whatnot. This one is not necessarily clear text, but it's understanding also like on the Windows perspective, because obviously most of the meetups we've done, it was with Linux. This one is more with Windows, where if we give some privileges to a user, we need to make sure it's going to be as secure as possible, and clear text or whatnots, we may not exactly realize where they're hidden, right? So that's something we're going to have to pay attention to, and so on. Real quick, just to answer your question here, Kid Quick, apply to both. Just don't wait. Apply to both. They're looking for people, those two organizations, right? So there's always work out there, and I'm quite sure that Steve can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearance is your only factor that you have to wait for.
Yeah.
So if you start early with applications, then
True. So the only thing is, let's say CSC and CSIS, before I go a little bit further, right? You need top secret, so which means that you need to be a Canadian citizen. So I don't know if you are. You're the one that know about it, right? But that's what you need. Then after that, it all depends if you travel a lot, right? I mean, like there's so many different factors that may slow down your application. Not saying that you will not get it, right? But it may slow down your application. I've heard like a year and a half for some people to be able to get their clearance. So it all depends on how often do you move, or if you move outside of the country. If you go to the United States, you should be fine. I would say Five Eyes, like Canada, United States, UK, New Zealand, and Australia are all 5 countries in general. You should be fine if you travel there. But if you go somewhere else, you may have to explain it a little bit more. I know someone else went for 6 months to Hawaii, even though that's the United States. 6 months was a long time, and then they had to figure that out. So there was like profile that needed to be pulled up, or files that needed to be pulled up from the FBI, and a couple things like that. So I would just be careful on how it is, but that would not stop me from applying. The only trick I can tell you, because obviously those ones you're most likely going to have to take a polygraph there, right? Is just don't research polygraph, right? Just go in there, tell the truth and nothing but the truth. That's it, right? They're telling you something you're not comfortable with, right? Just say it. It sucks. It is what it is, but you have to feel comfortable. You have to say all the truth. And if they're asking you a question, most likely they already know the answer, right? So that's how you got to go. But I would say that I've gone through a polygraph in the past, and even though stressing, it's hard. You don't like the feeling you have to go through it. It's once every 5 years, right? So I mean, like you shouldn't have anything to hide, and you should be good to go at that point, right? So I would say that try to push as much as you can to be able to go there, and the salaries are quite good, I would say, right, for both organizations. So don't stop yourself, just move forward and apply there to both. If you don't see anything there, anything like on the posting job, just like send your resume over there, send a cover letter as well over there, and just ask for the type of position you're looking for. And they're most likely going to put you into different locations. Just don't wait only for this. Also keep looking, and then eventually you're going to see one going up, right? So take a look at it. There's multiple things happening now in that location, and the worst thing you can do is just like delay or not do it or whatnot, right? So
absolutely,
yeah, exactly.
Start now. Don't wait for them to come to you.
yeah, exactly. Because otherwise, they're not going to come to you, right?
Yeah.
I would say, if you go CSC, for example, CSC is a little bit more present into some areas, like B-side last year, they were there. The year before, they were there as well, like B-side Ottawa. Oh, by the way, this is another one. Like B-side Ottawa just got announced on November 20th and November 21st of this year. It changed location. It's not in Canada now anymore, right? It's on the east side of Ottawa in Gloucester. What's it called again? I forgot the name of it.
The CE Center or something?
Yeah, the Ottawa Conventional Center, something like that, right? It's a hotel, and that's not too far away from the RCMP.
Yeah.
What's it called? Riverside Drive, and is it Vanier? Is it Vanier?
Yeah.
Drive? Yeah, I think it's Vanier Drive, right? It's on that corner around that area where you're going to be able to be part of, and I should be part of it. I mean, like up to what point, I'm not too sure. We'll have to figure that out. There's still sometimes, but it seems that I'm most likely going to be part of it in some capacity. Nice. Yes. B-side, great event to go to. So we'll see. Good. All right. That's good. I guess I answered Gloucester. Yeah. Across the street from CSIS. No, that's not across.
No, that's where Kid Quick is from.
Oh, okay. That's where you're from. Okay. Okay. That's like, it's probably 5 minutes from where you are. Yeah. So that's going to be easy enough for you to go. The EY Center. No, I don't think it's EY Center. Oh, give me a second. I'll just go get the map real quick. I'll tell you exactly where it is. Map.
It's the Ottawa Conference and Event Center, OCEC. That's what it is. Yeah,
maybe I should just do maps, but not with this, like streaming where I live. Let's move on, and then I'll just put it back so I can show you actually 100% where it's at. It's here. So you should see, I see the Ottawa Stadium, you see the antonym, right? That's exactly where it's at. Courtyard, Ottawa. Hold on. Did they say it? Ottawa, there you go. Ottawa Conference and Event Center. So that's exactly where it's going to be at. So Gloucester, it's right there, right? I mean, like it keeps going down, but it's just to say that it's going to be in this area. So if you need if you're looking to be able to get there, I think there is early bird prices right now. So that might be a good thing to take a look at right now. If there's none, I mean, like just wait a little bit, and then whenever you're comfortable, you can purchase your ticket. There's 2 different tickets, which is the one that's going to be for attending the event and seeing all the speakers, and then the second one is for attending the CTF, which is a bit more expensive, $100, I believe so. So good. Oh, and there's free underground parking for B-side. Well, I mean, like, I guess you need to be there early. Otherwise, like, compared to what it was for last year, can I just get the layer here? You can see there's a ton of parking, right? So it should not be an issue for anyone to be able to get in there. I know there was a CSIS, like the cybersecurity the CIS, the Cybersecurity and Identity Summit. Was happening there a couple months ago, and yes, it was free parking for people that were going there. So that's another thing too that could be very interesting. So perfect.
Always a good time.
Yes, love it. And the organizers are great for that too. They're great organizers for this. Good. All right. So well, CCCS, that's the Canadian Cybersecurity Center. It's that's CSC, by the way. All right, the same thing that we do normally when we start attacking machines, and now we need to go a little bit different because we're covering Steve's face, right? And we don't like that. So I think we changed the brand over here. We're going to go to enumeration. On this case here, good. Oh, we got 28 people. That's great. Just a little thing here. If you guys are interested and want to be able to be part of it, there is a Discord server where you can request access to get in there and hack with us, right? So there's like it's an educational purpose, right? But if you go directly on the Discord server, there's a server channel there. You just request access, we give you access, and then you can hack along with us and then and move along, right? There's other 2 channels there, so feel free to get there. Otherwise, we are mainly on YouTube, but feel free to talk on any other platform. You should be able to get there. So we're gonna go with the hacking now. Like Kid Quig is saying, we want to make sure we get to cover this. All right, like any other machine, you guys should be able to see it, but like any other machine, what we're going to have to do is enumeration. So if you take a look on the top left, that's pretty much the steps we're going to be taking on, right? Enumeration, we need to have our IP for our machine, right? So this is mine over here, and then the nmap on the actual machine I'm going to be attacking, right? I already started the machine, so everything is done. If you don't know how to do it, well, that's something maybe in the future I should show as a video on the enterprise platform. But over here, we're going to move on and press enter. My goal here is to be able to enumerate and take a look at the top 1000 port, which is by default what nmap is actually doing, right? So now we're giving it a couple of seconds to be able to move on and do all its things, right? Here we see we have 53, 88, 135, 139. So we have a bunch of port here that could be interesting to look at, but there is something that's, because I see all of this, there is some things that tells me that it could be a specific computer when I look at it. Does anybody knows exactly what type of computer we're talking about, right? It's going to be a server, most likely. We see a bunch of stuff. I'll let you guys take the time to answer here. And while you take the time to answer, I just want to say that we have 3 different voucher for 1 month of VIP Plus available. And then I also have a 500 cubes from the Academy as well that I'm going to be able to give away today. All right, so make sure you stay tuned and then answer those questions. But we will let you know before we raffle up one voucher for you guys. So yeah, there you go. So the answer I was looking for, all of you are pretty much were right, But the answer I was looking for, if that's, it just moved up. Hold on. It's this one here, the domain controller. So we got Thunderstruck that answered this questions first. And then we got also after that Preston said it. But the first one I got is Thunderstruck on my panel over here. So yes, that's exactly what it is. So most likely a domain controller. Some of the stuff that we can pinpoint, right, before going any further, we can see here LDAP, right? So that's one that's interesting there for us. And we have the LDAP SSL. There's somebody who says port 88 for Kerberos. So there's a bunch of different things here that can tell us pretty much what it is. And at this point here, this is exactly what we're looking for. This is a domain controller, right? How bad can it be, Steve, if somebody gets a hold of a domain controller?
Not too bad, you know.
Yeah.
With all the stuff you can do, even with without escalated privileges on a domain controller, that's pretty much end game.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So right now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use. I mean, there's different type of flags we could have used. This one here, I used the SVSC. I could have done almost the same thing, right? But let's say if I put it just on the side here on the right, I do an nmap and I can do SCV, right? So that would have been the same thing. And if I can remember as well, I think it's O that will also encompass both of it. It's just because I've been used to do S and V, and then that's why, C and V. That's the reason why I do both of them. If you're wondering how to be able to figure out which one that you need, or maybe there's something else that you're not sure, keep in mind --help most of the time is going to give you all the answers that you're looking for to be able to go through it. You can see here enable OS scans, OS detections. We got the SC, which is the all the default scripts that's going to go through. And SV probe open port to determine the service version info, right? So there's a bunch of different script that's going to be running in the background to be able to find exactly this. So now we have some information that came out of our scan, right? In the meantime, I'm just going to do a clear over here. I should probably as well, because that's something I try to keep in mind, is like we do a scan for the top 1000 port, but sometimes there is in ones that are just like not where they should be at, right? Or it could be like 8443, which is basically like a HTTPS server that's there, and we don't see it because it's not part of 1000 port, right? The top 1000. So in the back end, I'm going to do this, the flag, which is going to scan all 65 plus 1000 ports, right? Good. So this is done. And now we are going to take a look at it, right? We see here Kerberos, we see the server time. That could be interesting for us if we're doing some sort of like Kerberos thing or something like that. We may need to adjust ourselves a little bit to it. We keep going down. We see the LDAP over here where we see the Active Directory, Timelapse. Oh, so there's a .htb0, right? That could be interesting. Here we have again HTTP0, but we see it's a DC01. Okay, so there's a couple of things that we are seeing, but because we see that's DC01, we may have to also add it up. So have like DC01.timelapse.htb to make it work. That could be one of those things that we may need to do. All right. So this is something normally we do if we do a sudo. I think it's already added in here, so it might be easy enough. Hosts, and then I press enter. Whoops, I need to select the application I want to use. So I'm using Nano here, and then we see here 10.129.133.133, right? 129.33.133, and then that's going to be Timelapse, and then we have DC01 and then timelapse.htb, right? So from this point on, anytime I type this in or I type this one in, it should know that it has to go to that IP address directly. Okay, so I'm press Control X to be able to get exit out of there. If I was making any modification, it would ask me to be able to save the buffer and then the location. So I would have said yes for the buffer and enter to keep going. From this point on, if we decide to do a ping on timelapse.htb, we can see here it's going exactly the right location. So if we're not sure, we can do that. Good, perfect. One of the things here that we are looking for as well is normally we have information with port 445, right? So that's something that's normally very interesting and we could get, right? So there's multiple tools we could use to figure that out. One of them that I use normally, it's SMB clients, right? Let's say we don't know what we want to do in this case, we go do and help, right? In our case here, we're looking for -hell, right? And then the host. So we're actually looking for listing any of the shares that can be in there. Thank you for sharing the B-side Ottawa, Steve.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to do the -L and then the IP address or the domain name, right? So that's what we're going to do here. -L, okay, and then we're going to do Timelapse.htb, but we have two, so we're going to start with this one. Is there an, oops, it's capital L. Right now it's asking for something, right? For a password. I just press enter. So normally it's going to go directly as anonymous. So there's nothing that comes up. If you want to, you can put capital N, right? Which is not going to look for authentication. And see, there's a difference in between the two, which is interesting, right? So the other one says anonymous and then capital N, November, if I can see it. Where is it at? Capital N, I passed it. Oh, there we go. No pass. Don't ask for password. And see, that's a different, that's interesting, right? Where I just put enter for a password and then it tells me it doesn't work. And then I say, don't ask for password. And then it works. So that's sometimes like something like this that you can be like, oh my God, what's going on? Like it was just like 2 letters I missed, but that's something that you need to keep in mind. And unfortunately that will happen in many other cases. So just keep that in mind and then just like keep hacking through it. And then eventually you're going to be fine, right? All right, so now we have this, and what we're going to do is we have shares, right, that we can take a look. We know that admin is normally by default, the C by default. These ones, we could try them later on, but because I'm seeing here this guy here that says disk, and I mean, it's not supposed to be there, or at least it doesn't look like one that should be there. That's one I'm going to be interested into going, right? So let's do a -N over here. Can I do something like this? So now it seems that we're connected. If I do dir, I can see I have 2 different folders in there. We can see D for directory, right? So in this case here, if you're not sure, SMB, I think it uses both from this side. So we can actually do one or the other. If I do and go to, we're probably going to have something in there, right? Directory. So we have files in there. So let me just get out of there for a second. So Control C and then make dir, and then we're going to do time lapse and then cd time lapse. So that's where we're going to go. Okay. Here you can see there's like nothing in there. So we're good. And we're going to go back to the actual SMB clients and then go back to dev. Okay, so that's one of those things that can be interesting. So we can do, oh, there's something else too. Can I remember exactly what it is? There's something else. There's a way to be able to download everything from that share command. I forgot about that. SMB client command download all files. How to recursively download a directory using, are we able to do it? Get path, recursive on, there is something like an actual NC prompt recursive on. There is actually, I think, a command to be able to do it. I'm trying to remember which one it is. Okay, well, either way, we can move on. If somebody finds it, I'd like to know. So if you find it, please share it in chat so we can give it a try for the sake of it, because that's something that can be very interesting, especially if you have especially if you have a bunch of different files in there. You can download them all at once, right? So you don't have to do, let's say, like this one here, a get, and then you double click here, Control Shift C, and then Control Shift V. and then press enter to be able to get that specific file. That's a way to get it, but I'd like to be able to download them all. And I know there's a way, I just forgot about it. mget recurse prompt off. Is that what it is? Like this command? Is that what you prompt off, recurse prompt off? Like, is that the whole command you're talking about, Ambassador Kobe? It could be a different tool too that I can't remember, but I know there is a way to be able to do that, and that'd be cool if we could represent it, because you may be faced to a challenge at one point, especially in Hack the Box, or even if you go for offensive security and all of that. Okay, you got that. Okay, so it's a mix of both. Let me see if we can get it to go. That could be very, very interesting to actually do that. Okay, so we're going server share, and then that's the prompt. So I guess it's, yeah, I guess that's what Ambassador was saying. Okay, and then we have the this prompt off. Maybe I should just copy it from. Let me. Oh, it's a different YouTube. Okay, it's a different YouTube. Yeah, I'm not able to copy from there. That sucks. Either way, no big deal. Let's make it happen. Off. And then we have the recurse on CD. Do I need to put the CD? I probably don't have to put the CD. I just want everything from there to be in there. And then the just the LCD. And then I just want to have it here. Wow, that's a bunch of this. Okay, so that's fine. I don't care. That to that, I don't care either. And then I would have to put, let's say, oops, this and mget and star. There's a bunch of different quotation in there. So let me see if that works, and then we'll figure that out. Oh, there you go. I think that works. Yeah, exactly. So the actual command, I mean, it was very close to all of you guys. Just a little bit of tinkering with it, and then here, there we go. So almost exactly what. Oh, that's a bunch of purple. I didn't realize I was writing to a bunch of places at the same time. Yeah, so almost the same thing as what David told us here, but a little bit different. So if we can take a look over here, we see the SMB-N, and then everything else comes along, and then we do the mget plus stars, I should say. So in this case here, if at one point you have a bunch of files, you don't have time to be able to take a look at it, or trying to figure that out, that's one way to be able to do that. And then once you come back here to your stuff, you can, let's hide this, you can do ls-lar. Capital R is for recursive. So now we can see all the files in all the folders in this case. If it would have been bigger, much easier to be able to find those things forward. So now let's take a look. I'm already here on this guy, so I'm going to do unzip. And then -L, and we can take a look at what's in it, right? So we got the legacy _dev_auth.pfx. That's one that could be interesting. So let's do the actual unzip of this guy. And we're going to do it here, press enter. And then now we are asked for a password, right? So, I mean, like we could do Timelapse. Incorrect, re-enter. We could do admin. We can do maybe the username, legacy. So exactly, no, that doesn't work. Incorrect password. So there is a way to be able to convert and trying to find that out. So I would say, yeah, John, exactly. John is able to do it. But do you know what's the actual thing that we need to enter? It's not actually like just John that we enter in there. What do we use to be able to get this to? I'm going to say that without giving the actual answer. You're partially there with John. It's a good pointer. but there's something a little bit more specific to be able to get this done, to be able to crack the password, because there's a step before we brute force the actual password. And that's what I'm talking about here. Is there anybody that knows exactly? There you go. So the actual tool that we're looking for is this one here from Ambassador Kobe, PFX to John. Oh, sorry, no, that's not that one. Sorry, that's another one, but very close to that one. That's very close, but we're not there yet. We're not for PFX at this point. We are for a zip file. So it'd be zip to John, right? So now here, let's say we have our machine that's right there. We got the zip to, and then I'm going to press the tab key. If I press tab key, we're going to see this. I don't know if I put just zip. I don't think it's going to come up, but it should give me a bunch of different things, right? So you see if I press twice on tab, it will show the zip to John, and that's exactly what I can use in this case. And then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the actual, it was called WinRM zip, and then tab for completing the whole thing, and I'm going to press enter. So now we see that we have a bunch of different information that's in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to call it WinRM, because we are going to take this and now put it directly to a file so we can actually crack it. Okay, that's the reason why you've done it a couple weeks ago. So but that's fine. That's fine. So yeah, so basically speaking, what we're going to do is take this and then put it directly into a file, WinRM, backup, and what was it called again? Backup, and then .zip, and then .hash. Okay, that's how we're going to call it. By doing this here, that little like greater than only once, is we are going to put that into a file. If, for example, we wanted to append it, we would have done it with two of them like that, right? So the reason why we would append, it'd be because the file's already existing and we don't want to override the whole file. If we do this and there's already a file there, we would override the whole thing. In this case, we don't really care because we already have everything sorted out, right? We have nothing else in this location but those files. Then now what I'm going to do is we're going to go with John, right? And first things first, because we want to brute force the hash over here, we need to have a dictionary. Most of the time, if you go for your SCP, like you do those type of certifications, or you do HTTP, or even I would say try HackMe or the likes, Immersive Labs as well too, you would overwrites in bash. No, it append normally with the two greater than you're talking about here, like that, right? I can even demonstrate it afterwards if you want to. But what I was saying here is what we need is, like in all of those platforms I'm talking about, is you're going to need to use a tool that's called what's it called again? A wallet tool. It's a dictionary, right? Because we're going to conduct a dictionary attack. It's very simple. Maybe I can just show you what it implies in this case here. I'm going to do head and then OPT, because that's temp. I think it's temp I put it in. And then we have RAWQ, right? So RAWQ is very like thick, that has a lot. And I just want to see the head of it. So you see there's a bunch of different passwords. I could do tail as well. Maybe might be a little bit easier like this. And then let's say we do the 50, right? So we see a bunch of different passwords that could actually be used to be able to get there. So that's a very useful tool. There's many other tools. There's like another one you can go on. Have I been pawned, right? And I think it's a couple gigs. If it's not, I can't remember how many gigs. Do you remember, Steve? How many gigs that file is? The latest one. I mean, like it's very big.
Yeah. I'm not sure 100%, but it's big.
Yeah. So, but for what you have to expect over here, you should just think about the fact that it's only RAWQ in general you should use. If you have to use others, it's other purpose, but normally go for RAWQ first, and then after that, you can divert to other places. But if you're not able to hack it, or at least to brute force it within a certain amount of time, I would say just move on to something else, right? In general, their purpose is not to brute force it, because otherwise it would take you way too long to be able to get this done. Good, good. So for the new people that are here, right now we're covering Timelapse from Hack the Box. So if you're interested in joining us, make sure you join our Discord server and then request for access directly to the server under the server access channel. There we go. Okay, good. So I just want to make sure that everyone is covered over here, so we can give the chance to everyone to experiment this hands-on directly on the keyboard. Perfect. All right. So now we have the machine here. We're going to do our John. We're going to select word lists and equal. And we know right now it was under temp and then rawq.txt. And then now we need to select the actual file that we had, right? That we created, the hash that we created with a bunch of numbers and letters and so on. And just do this. I'm going to press enter and we just have to look for the magic, right? Well, this one was already done in the past. And what you can do, right, it's going to be super fast in this case. Maybe I should have reverted my machine. That would have been much easier. We can just do, can I just do show? I think I need to put the file in there too. Yeah, so when rm zip dot hash, right? So now we should be able to see that's the Supreme Legacy. That's the actual password for this file, right? For the zip file. So now if we do unzip here, and then I press the win rm zip, and then I just paste it there, press enter. Now we should have the file in there. So we have the .pfx in here, right? So it's one that we can do right now. If I can, yeah, let me just like move this file real quick because I just want to show you how it's going to look like, because this one here should have showed you something else. And I guess I'm just using the same words and I want to use different words to show it to you. So we're going to move this one here. And then we're going to put 2 instead, right? So it's just going to be a little bit different for this specific file. So you can see the same type of method we're going to use to be able to go around that. All right, so now in this case here, we're going to do a PFX. It's what's called, Ambassador Kobe earlier. That's what he showed us in this case here, PFX to John, which is the other one, because we're going to try to do the same thing. Oh, there's a command that we can do to figure it out. There is PKS, right? Because a PFX, just so you know, because I'll give you a little bit of information, a PFX is basically you have the private key and assert basically public key in there, right? And we can separate them from that specific PFX. So in here, we are going to open up this, and then we're going to type into Google how to separate a private key and certificate from PFX. If we press enter, we have a bunch of stuff. This one, how to extract certificate private key. So this one could be good. We have IBM as well that's there. IBM, I know, is one that has been used in the past. So it should be very helpful here to be able to help us out, because that's what we're going to need to do, is to extract those things with PFX. Okay, there we go. Is that the right one? Yeah, that's the right one. So now we see here the OpenSSL, which is another tool that's installed by default, I think, on Kali. For sure, on Parrot OS from a Hack the Box is going to be already in there, right? So you shouldn't have to struggle too much around to be able to get this done in this case. So we're going to use this directly, right, to be able to get it out. Minimize this, press paste over here. So now we have our PFX that we have here. We're going to enter it there. If we legacy, it's a 2 at the end, right? So we're just going to make sure we do that little change, 2. And then everything else, I'm going to leave it pretty much as the same. But this one needs to be .crt. And then CRT. Hopefully I don't make any mistakes, but we'll see. So now it's asking me for a password. Again, we can do the same type of thing. We can do some sort of brute force and figure that out if it's going to be an issue or not. But in our case, what we need to do is the same thing as what Ambassador Cody was telling us, PFX to John, right? And we're going to do the exact same thing. So I'm just going to go back to pretty much my command I had earlier, so I don't have to enter the whole thing. We have zip to John and then PFX. I'm going to go a little bit. Oh, maybe I should. That's right. That's a different thing. Should have done the other one, but that's fine. PFX to John, and then now we have the legacy to.pfx, and we're going to put it because it's going to be the same thing. We said a bunch of gibberish, and we're going to put it as the same thing here, but let's do a .h. Okay, so it should be a different name at that point, so it should not pop up the same thing as, or at least the same way as the other one. Press enter, and we should have our file.h. .h. There we go. It's right here. So now we're going to do the pfx to John, hn, and we're going to do well, not pfx. Sorry, we need John now, our good friend, to be able to get there. Word list equal tmp, because that's where my raw queue file is, and we're going to select the legacy.pfx.h, right? That's the one we want to brute force at this point. I'm going to press enter. So, okay, I guess it doesn't matter. It's the same type of hash, so it just loaded it, and it worked out directly. But normally, if you press this enter, a couple seconds afterwards, it would show you exactly the one that's there, right? So in our case here, what we're going to do is dash show. Can I just do this? Okay, I just need to get the word list out. I'm assuming. There we go. So now here it's tog legacy, right? That's the actual password for this one. And if we do, let's say, a grep on RawQ, we would find it as well. Which line, I'm not too sure, but it would be there, right? So that's the one we're going to use to be able to do everything else afterward. Let's go back now to, where is it at? Oh. Sorry, my... if you work with what's called again with a Mac, right? You know that little bar at the bottom? If you leave your mouse towards the bottom, it just covers the whole thing. So I could not select one of them. I could not even see them. So we're going to come back here and we're going to take a look at this, right? So we got the CRT sorry, we didn't get the CRT. We got the actual password. So we're going to get the CRT out. Then after that, we're going to get the key, decrypted key out. Right, so that's what we need to do at this point. At least that's what's from here over here. Sorry, I can't speak right now. All right, good to go. So we're gonna load again our file that we had here, right? Which is the PFX, and we want to extract the CRT out of there. So I'm gonna go, yeah, tog legacy. That's the actual password. Thank you. Where's it at? Yeah, tog legacy. There you go. It's tog legacy, but I wanted to just highlight it for some reason. I just couldn't see it. Perfect. So LSLA, and then now we have the CRT, right? If we just want to take a look real quick, legacy auth CRT. You can see that's our certificate that we have here. Now we need to move to the next one. The thing is, we already have the CRT, right? So we need to get to the other one. So convert .pfx to PEM format. Perform PFX format. No, CRT is there. That's the one. Run the following to decrypt the private key. All right, so that's RSA. This one was PKS 12, right? So we're going to go back here, type this in. So we have the key. So in and out, decrypted key. I'm assuming this one, which one was it again? This one was the, I think it was the, is it the PFX again? I think it's the PFX that we need to put in. What's it called again? Legacy. And then .pfx, don't put the H. And then this one, out, I'm assuming that's going to be the legacy. I'm trying to remember what it is. I mean, like, once you start doing some hacking, it can be hard sometimes to be able to keep up, right? Especially if you don't know what you're actually doing, or like if you have an idea, you're trying to figure it out a way to get in one path, that might be a little bit harder. But in our case, like there's something I already done in the past that I can recall. But at one point, if let's say 2 months later, you start doing it again, you might forget about it. So don't be hard on yourself. These things will happen and you're going to have to deal with them. But that should be what it is. And I'm quite sure that's what it is. Is it key? Trying to remember what it was for this one. Word lists. Yeah, I think it's just key, like the same thing as the other one. So we're going to do out as key. Could not open file. RSA out store. Is it because you are loading private key PFX? Okay. Is there anything that's wrong? No such file or directory, file store, legacy, PFX. Legacy dev, PFX. So that's the in, yeah. PFX in, trying to remember. Let's go take a look again. So now we did this one here, went to .crt, run the following command to decrypt the private key. So it says key, probably the CRT needs to be there. Probably not the PFX, the other one. Okay, let's go take a look. I'm trying to remember, but that's what it is. If somebody has the actual answer, feel free to say it directly in chat. I would say that could not read the private key. Whoops, is it CRT or CTR? I put it up there. CRT, that's what I did. Private key from this. Which one was it again? Do you guys have the answer for this one? It's a little bit different. RSA out PEM. No key. It's probably this one I need to skip to. PFX. So that's probably the one I need. Oh, sorry. I went to this one. Then after that, I think I went to this one because I was thinking. So I think I skipped one step over here from that thing there. No key out. There we go. So PFX and then CRT. And then, okay, I need to go check what I've done. All right, let's go check what I've done. So we did run this command, CLS cert. Okay, so that's the one I ran, and then I forgot to run this one, the third one. So that was my mistake that I've done, and that's exactly what was the issue, right? So I confused myself a little bit, and that's what happens sometimes. Okay, all right, let's go back here. So now, in this case, we're going to have to put the key. That's the one we want to put in, right? And we're going to go back here. And then the PFX. Legacy.pfx, not the .h. Reading, no cert, key. And then if we do LSLA, so that's the CRT there. And then the other one should be this one, the legacy in no cert out legacy dev.key. If I do it 2 in there, does it make a difference? No. Can't open legacy for reading, no such file or directory. Maybe, do I need to specify it's here? Should not. It's right there. Oh, it renamed it. No, that's it. This one is right there. It misses a 2 there. That's the change I done earlier. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm gonna take yeah, exactly. You were right over here. I should give you something, right? I think for pointing this out, the obvious at this point, I think I should give you a price at that point. Pretty much. All right, thank you very much. And then from Kid Quick 23, that's exactly what it is. We need to use the whoops. I forgot to click on the other page over here. The tug legacy, THUG legacy, and then press enter. And then I'm going to use the same thing, or maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the password I'm going to put here. I need to put 4 different digits. Maybe if you decide to make a mistake, it's going to tell you directly there. So you can put from 4 digit to, I think it's 1024 digit, right? So I'm going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 just to make it easy enough for me to be able to move forward. So there we go. So I skipped one step in there, and that's the reason why it was not actually working. If we go back here now, I did this. I just did this, and now we're going to do this one here, right? And we're basically going to decrypt. So I'm going to call it as like decrypt in this case here. So let's call it again legacy, legacy, legacy underscore dev underscore what was it, auth, and then decrypted dots, and this one I think it was dot key. There we go. We're going to call it dot key, and over here we're going to go to the other one to be able to decrypt that private key, which is called now the legacy dot auth, and that was the 2 key, right? 2 dot key in this case, and we're going to press enter. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is my password I set up earlier. And then now we are writing the RSA. LA. There we go. And then now we have the decrypted key. Okay, so in this case here, like we read, we were able to get the private key out of there. So if we're able to get the private key, what happens, right? There is a bunch of stuff that can happen in this case. We're going to be able to most likely get into the machine. One of the things that we didn't figure it out when we did our nmap, it was like, what are the other ports that are open, right? So if we take a look here, we have WSMen that's open. And how can I say that? Let's go for 1 voucher at this point. 1 month VIP plus. That's going to be on the line here. I'm looking at my panel, which has everybody chatting from Discord. Well, sorry, not Discord, but from YouTube and Twitch and the likes. So if you put directly in the comment there the answer, the first person to do it, I will give you a 1 month VIP plus subscription, right? The thing is, to be able to get it, you need to contact me directly on what's it called again? On the Discord server, right? My name is Malvik directly there. I'm the admin. I'm the only admin. So if there's anything, just make sure that you contact me there. Okay, somebody asked for, okay, Hugo, I'm going to give you access in a minute. I'm almost done that first part there for access directly to the Hack the Box Ottawa Meetup server. So you can hack along with us. All right, I just need to go back. Good, so that's basically what we're going to do. In this case here, we're going to use a tool like probably, what's it called? Evil WinRM, right? Oh, that's my question. I need to go with my question. So the question I was asking, or at least I wanted to ask, is here. We have this port, right? What is the actual purpose of this port? What is the tool that we can use with this port? And then the second part of that answer, I need to know why 86. There's WSMan, yes. But why 86? You need to give me that second portion there of your answer. I see here, that's part of it, but not completely right 100%. There's a bit more to it. Are we going to get the answer? Maybe. Oh, there we go. So the answer, the complete answer, what it is.
It's a race.
Yeah, it's a race. Like, don't just copy and paste the whole thing. I mean, like, try to give me the service and then the reason why it's 865986. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I guess that's your answer. That's exactly what I was looking for. WSMan provider for PowerShell. There's another name as well that we can use, right? I kind of said it a little bit earlier. It's while it's not for Active Directory, there's a reason why we have that open, like WSMan or WinRM, right? The remote management kind of deal. The thing is, why we're going to use normally when we use 8.5s, because we have stuff that are going unencrypted there, right? 8.5 is going to be the unencrypted version of WinRM or anything that's going to be there. One of the use that we have with this, maybe I should go with a second question. One of the things that we can do, yeah, I'm going to go with a second question here. So we're going to try to hash out two different person with 2 1-month VIP plus right away. One of the main things that we can do with that specific port, I'm saying 8.6 or 8.5, there's something specific that we can do. And we need to have those ports open to be able to do some sort of like auditing, right? What is the actual information? How can I say what's the actual information that's going to go through that port that's going to be used for auditing in this case? That's more of a blue question, I would say, right, Steve, at this point? So let's say I'm using a SIEM. I could potentially gather some information that's going to be thrown at that port specifically. And that information is going to get to my SIEM eventually. It could be like Sentinel. It could be, what was it called? Hey, I forgot the name of it. Like
Splunk or ArcSight.
Yes, Splunk. There you go. Splunk. That's the one I was looking for. Thank you. So you can be Splunk, it can be anything else, could be through a different mean. But does anybody knows exactly what could be transferred through that port directly? Because it's being used for something specific. And if you keep about it, once you have the answer in place, no, it's not user email name. That's, well, I mean, like potentially, but that's not the answer. That's not for cert either. But there's specific information that's going to go through that port that, basically speaking, are going to be very important. And if you decide to sniff that information, you could gather a ton of information. So for example, if you're doing some pen test and then you see this happening, and then you have, for whatever reason, and I don't know why it would be there, you have a way to be able to utilize Wireshark because it was installed there. You could dig a ton of stuff from that port if it's something encrypted. Do we have the answer? 5985, 5986 are the same ports, technically speaking, for the same type of purpose. We already identified that with DVT, right? Should I put some crickets? Maybe? No? Not sure. All right, Steve, monitor the chat. If somebody gets it within the next, I would say, 5 minutes, I guess that gives you some time to be able to Google a little bit and find the answer. And then if you find the answer, put it in chat. And then Steve, as soon as you see it, just like let me know. And then we are going to give that answer to, yes, HTTPS, HTTP, that's part of it. That's the protocol, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for what is going to be transitioned through that port. There is something specific that happens there, right? And I mean, I don't want to give too much answers there or too much hints. Worst case scenario, I'll give you a little bit more hints after like the 2-3 minutes time frame, right? So in the meantime, I'll just keep going a little bit so we can move forward. Obviously, like in this case, we're going to use Evil WinRM, right? Which is a great tool to be able to access it. In this case here, we're not sure exactly what we're going to use, so let's do it help. We're going to do probably S, because we need to do SSL, capital S. We have a public key and then a private key, so I guess we can probably use both of them. C, and then the public key, we have the legacy, And then this one was a CRT. I think that's the one. And then we have the K, which is the private key, which is the last one that we decrypted, right? The decrypted dot key. Underscore decrypted dot key. Next step we're going to do is we're going to use the is it -u, capital U, timelapse.htb that we can do. Do we have anything else that we can use? Yeah. The U, we have, let's say, the legacy user. If that doesn't work, we may have dev. We may have legacy underscore dev potentially, but let's give it a try with this guy. We don't have any passwords, so it doesn't matter for this. Is there anything else that could be used? Hash, no. Port, not necessarily. Okay, let's give it a try with this if that does something. Okay, missing IP. I guess. Does this one works? Okay, that doesn't work. Enable. Check your Etsy. Oh, it's missing E. There we go. So, dir. Let's go to desktop. And then a dir. And now I'm going to do a type user.txt. Okay, so the main thing to remember is here I'm going to show it to you, but it's not going to be useful for you, right? It's very dynamic. So whatever computer you're currently using, or at least that you spawn up, it's going to be your own that you're going to have to use here, right? So in this case here, I got my flag over here, and that's the one I would put directly into the panel to be able to move forward, right? So that's what I would do. So we didn't get more information. So I gave you some sort of a hint in this case where I was talking about the fact that we have WinRM started. Yeah, so one of the hardest part about, sorry, I was just reading a text, is to understand exactly what information is going to be transferred there. For us, when we do pen testing, at least like if most of the experience that you have right in place in doing pen testing is going to be like using Evo WinRM to be able to log on and do a couple things like that, that might be the only thing you know. But when you're on the blue side of it, right, you actually use it for something else, where you are going to start collecting information, right? The goal of a SIEM is to be able to get everything into one spot, right? As much as possible, have some automation, have some bunch of stuff. And I'm quite sure that our good friend Steve is going to talk about it a little bit more later on. So I'm not going to try to beat it to death and try to steal his thunder as well too. But all that information goes there, and it's coming from the computers on Active Directory, right? So what do you think can be good for a SIEM to be able to collect information, right? To be able to get all the information from all the computers around the network and then bring them to the SIEM, right? There's a specific word that we actually use normally, right? When we say we're transferring data, I'm using a different word, right? We're using data from those computers. No, it's not UUID. To be able to send them to that port, which is going to be collected most likely through an agent or something like that of some sort, and then go to a SIEM where all the magic is going to happen there. Any idea? Start. No, not script block. It start with, it depends on how you see it, right? I would say the word would start with E, echo. Like start with E, like echo would start with, or Eric, if you understand what I mean, E. Maybe I should give a second hint.
To clarify, you're saying this is something that would be used to send this information as it happens from the endpoint to the SIEM.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a second word as well that can be used, right, interchangeably, and that's probably what you're kind of trying to point out, Steve. The other word could start with L. Steve Block. That's a tough one, huh? You have the answer, Steve?
I think so, if I understand the question. So you're asking what would be sent to the SIM?
Exactly. So there's like we have computers out there, right? We have a whole network. I don't know, fit 20 computers. Those 20 computers are going to send data. And again, this is I'm trying to be careful with the word because otherwise I'm going to say the exact thing that's being sent, right? It's going to send data to that port, and that port is going to collect all of that, right? Put them into a place, but also there's an agent that could also pick that up and then send it to Splunk.
Do you want me to say it?
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Just give them, I don't know, 5-10 seconds. And I guess at that point, I know that's a tough one, especially if we work on the red team side most of the time. But okay, one more hint, Steve. Wait. That's not reverse shell. If I'm logging in onto a computer, there's something I'm creating in the backend of that actual device. I need to be able to collect that information and then send it as fast as possible in real time. There we go. Got it. First one. I mean, that's the 2 word. Like if you would have given me events, I would have said you got it. If you would have given me logs, you would have got it. But you gave me both. You don't get 2 prize though. You only get 1. You only get 1. So that was the actual answer I was looking for. So 5985, if you're unencrypted and you're sending logs over there, it means you're sending logs in the clear on the network. So if somebody is sniffing information and is able to intercept information that is encrypted, that is not encrypted and it has, let's say, clear text password, whatever, right? Linux, you type in your, how many times that happened to you guys? You're trying to type in your password, you press enter, you realize, oh shit, I'm typing in my password and my username.
Never.
Never. But I mean, like in Windows, it's not too bad. Maybe you can correct me, Steve. I don't think it transfers the information, or I don't think it collects the information when you enter your password as a username and press enter. I might be wrong here. Don't quote me here. Steve, are you able to?
In Windows?
Yeah, in Windows.
I don't think it does.
I know I would need to check, but I don't think it does it. However, if you do it on Linux, there's a good chance that your password, if you enter it there under the username, will go as clear text directly into the logs, right? So you have to be extremely careful with this, because at the end of the day, if it gets there in the logs, somebody could just check the logs and then eventually find your information. Yeah, there we go. So that's exactly what I thought too. I don't think it did. So thank you for confirming success and failure. And it doesn't say exactly what was transferred. So perfect. Exactly. That's exactly what I was looking for. And I was quite sure that's exactly what it was for Windows. But on the Linux side, that's a different story. At least the one I tested it. And I don't think that's the latest and greatest. So maybe they did any modification, but at least that's what I can tell you right now. So that's something to keep in mind, right? If you use 5985 to be able to send logs unencrypted, it can be intercepted by a sniffer. If you use 5986, there's a good chance that's, it doesn't mean 100%, but there's a good chance it will be encrypted. And if it's encrypted, at that point, a sniffer is going to be harder for it to be able to decipher or at least understand the information that's there, unless they have already the private key or so on, and they already know how to decrypt that, right? So that's the one thing to keep in mind. 5986 secure, and that's what you would like to do. This is not hard to be able to achieve. You just need to get it done, and you should do it if you think about it. So here's a little thing, a little part of on the blue side that I cover in my side. Hopefully, Steve, I did not steal your thunder. But in this case here, we got user, we got foothold, and then now this is Steve to start talking a little bit more in depth about the blue team side of it, the whole thing. There you go.
I guess I should add some stuff to the.
Yeah, you don't have your screen there. Still waiting.
Bush League.
Yeah.
Okay, one sec. One of the first things that I don't need any sort of material for is I've got 2 little devices here. One is called an iron key, which is not.
hold on, Steve. I'm gonna make you. Not this one. Let's. Is this one better?
Beautiful.
No, that one was better.
Oh, you can't see because of my green screen. This is an iron key. And my teeth are all weird now.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay, that's a bit better.
And this is a UB key, which you may also not be able to see well. When you've got certificates, when you've got keying material, your best bet is not to leave them on an open share. So let's just look at this real quick. So, the first part of identifying is search for open shares. So that SMB client -L, do that to yourself. One of the, actually, we'll get to that later. Doing vulnerability assessments, all this kind of stuff, that line is never going to really leave. But just when you think of some of the enumeration tactics that JF is using, use those. Do those on yourself. That should be something that you could automate, something that you can just say, okay, here's how many open shares I found. Then, credential management. So Thug Legacy, that's not a good password. That's a horrible password. Don't use passphrases or use a password manager to generate a password that, is a little bit more difficult than Thug Legacy. Try and find something that won't end up in the rocku.txt file. And then don't store your keying material in an open share. So again, as I said, get a UB key or an iron key. The caveat there is they're going to be password protected. So we'll reiterate, Thug Legacy is not a good password, even if it is a physical device that someone has to get a hold of before they can actually log in. So that's really from the beginning of, let's go from nothing to getting the foothold. The two main points are really just search for open shares, and then don't store stuff on open shares that you don't want people to see. There's, I've got a little bit more information around Active Directory and that kind of stuff. It's more for once the box is popped and the privileges have been escalated. But really what you should be doing is checking for configuration issues in your environment, which, if you're doing vulnerability scans, if you're doing, most vulnerability scanners have compliance scans. You might use Syscat, like if you're familiar with Center for Internet Security, like the CIS, the top 10, they've got their own catalog of controls that, they line up with NIST, they line up sort of with ITSG 33, they line up with ISO 27001. Understanding the basics of those things, and then using a tool like, I'm pretty sure Tenable, Rapid7, Qualys all do this, and then CIS has its own tool, Syscat. That's one thing I didn't really think I should have demoed running Syscat. Maybe I will before we're done here. I just have to download it. But really, because this is such a kind of a simple hack, and one of the things, actually, I will share a screen here. Let me just close Spotify first. I'll bring another screen up. Okay. Which screen is that? That is screen 1. So this is a mess. But anyways, I've got a million things here. So let's see. This is a Windows VM. And I have tried insanely hard.
Can you put it in full screen, or the purpose was to have all those screens there?
Yeah. Well, yeah, sort of. I have 3 different ones or 4 different ones I want to show, but I'll make this full screen. It might be too big. So what I've been trying to do is create a share So here, and I've been trying to share it with no password required, and I haven't been able to. So JF and I were talking about this before we started the stream, and like, you know, I'm running in my lab. I've got Windows 10 or Windows 11, depending on which VM I'm using. Not everybody has the same protection, right? So if I go to over here to this guy, and I do like SMB client, and actually, hold on, let me do the -N. I just get access denied. I've been through the registry trying to tear it apart to to show, and that's actually really small, but get bigger. I've been going through the registry trying to tear apart like all of the sharing, like enable guest user account, try to enable anonymous access, all this kind of stuff, and something's still blocking it. So it could just be as simple as Defender. I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, if you're in an environment that's not new, right? If your environment's been around for years, there's a good chance that you're running SMB version 1. There's a good chance you have a lot of shares that are public. And even if this wasn't a Windows box, it could be Linux where you're running Samba shares that are guest okay, right? That can all be identified again through doing these scans, like vulnerability scanning or just compliance scanning. Steve does need a coffee, Joel, by the way. I just saw that. Touche.
Yeah. Yeah. And yes, that's me, JF. So
So, oh wow, we've got someone watching on Twitter. That's amazing.
I mean, like we're streaming on I would say 3 different platforms, but 2 YouTube channel, right?
Nice.
Servers at the same time. So the one for Malvik Security and the other one for Ottawa Meetup, along with the Twitch for Malvik Security, and then the X for Hack the Box Ottawa Meetup. So
fantastic.
Yeah, it's good to see everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do have some more kind of forensic-y stuff that we could look at after, but we're gonna wait till you actually get root before I get into that. But otherwise, I'm about complete here for the initial stages. So just to reiterate, make sure you don't have open shares. Don't put easy to crack passwords that protect zip files on open shares. Don't put your keying material on open shares, and get a YubiKey or an iron key, something like that, if you have something you have to protect. And then those passwords, make sure you store those in a password vault and make them complex.
Yeah. So one of those things there that you probably realize is once I mean, like I can probably just put back my screen up, head to the stage over here. So one of the things that we can keep in mind, or at least remember, is like, I need to go up. We see the key here, right? Oh, that's a certificate. We see the key over here, right? It's quite long. But once I figure it out, that key, I don't need to actually like try to brute force the machine. Like right now, I just got the output, I copy it, and then I'll do it offline. And if I'm able to find the answer later on, whenever I find the answer, that's when I have my actual password, right? So it's a way that's maybe we don't realize it, but like if it's only one event, right? You guys gonna remember that event that come from one computer that goes to the WEC, Windows Event Collector, and then an agent, and then brings it up directly to a scene. You have to think about all the path, right? If it's one event, you might not find it. So if you don't have like a rule in place, you have like some sort of a AI to be able to detect that, those things can be extremely hard to detect because it's only one event amongst many other, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something to really, really keep in mind, especially if you're thinking about blue side. If you're thinking about the red team side, I mean, like you're golden at that point. Once you found that, you just start laughing, and then you get ready to ramp up eventually. So that's something to actually keep in mind.
And something we'll talk about a little bit later once you're done is something called timeline analysis and outlier analysis, which is where you find those single events, but you have to really be looking, and it's not always something that's automated.
Yeah. I was looking for UEBA as well. UEBA or like some sort of like behavior analysis. I'm quite sure that's something like that you were going to bring up eventually, but that's something that can be very interesting. And I'll let Steve talk about it if you wanted to talk about it later on.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that'd be good. And that's something that normally you would have in your SIEM. But I can tell you, it can be a total mess too if you don't know how to tune it.
Garbage in, garbage out, baby.
well, okay, so maybe I can talk just about that little experience and then keep going in a second. So basically speaking, there was like I was working with a company and they had a SIEM, and without going in depth about them, because unfortunately I can't, right? There was an event coming up, but that event was going to bring a lot of different traffic from like good traffic from trusted sources, right? The thing is, because UEBA was looking for 3 months of history into the logs and trying to figure it out, like let's say user A does this, user B does this, user C does this. There's a ton of different legitimate user were added at once, right? So what happened at that point is, and maybe I already talked about it before. What happened at that point is like 6,000 like tickets came up, and like there's 2 analysts there trying to figure out what event is happening, which one is legitimate. And the only thing is like into the ticketing system and also into the SIEM, it was just like one after the other. You could just refresh your page and then see 15 different alerts, right? And then you refresh it, and then you see another 30. You're like, well, if it takes me about 10 minutes to be able to analyze one event, I mean, can you imagine how fast this goes? At that point, you have to try to sort them out and figure it out which one you need to get rid of, and then just accept the risk of what's going on. Obviously, you should also, like if you're an analyst on shift, you should alert your supervisor and so on. But that's something that happened. UEBA was just screwing the whole thing over because it was not meant to be able to accept a huge influx of new legitimate user to be able to get this done. So then that just fired the whole thing. So UEBA needed to be turned off and then eventually retrain kind of deal, right? To be able to accept what was the commonality in here. And the thing is, it's the same thing with UEBA. If somebody is used to do, I don't know, to check, I'm going to say, maybe, should I say that? Let's say that out loud, right? So if somebody like within your organization is used at 6 p.m. to go watch a adult website, every time at 6 p.m., UEBA will not catch it, even though let's say it's supposed to catch it normally, because this is a behavior you do not support, right? Because this is not accepted, but this is a behavior that has been recorded in the past because he's always doing it. The fact is, if the other person in the next cubicle does the same thing, suddenly, I don't know, at 4 p.m. or even like at 10 p.m. at night, this is a change of behavior. So now it can be triggered. And it could also get an actual ticket or incident or something like that. And then now the analyst would have to check it out. One does it all the time and it's fine. The other one does it once and then you get caught, right? You understand what I mean? So that's the type of stuff that can be happening with a type of tool like this with UEBA. So you need to be mindful about how it works, understand it before you activate it, or you get along with some other stuff. So yeah, that was a little thing I want to make sure that you guys are know about it. And we got Lateral BA here, tickets with the cat meme. Like the one that just keep typing everywhere. So, all right, good to go. So that's the thing that we had. I got somebody to ask a question. I got Sohail. Hope you're doing okay, my friend. I met you last time at B-Side Ottawa. Thank you for your help once again. Well, you're welcome here. I got us here, Suhail. So really happy. I apologize. I do not remember you, but make sure you come and talk to me if you see me again. I'd be happy to talk to you again for sure. right? And if I can help you out, or I can help anybody out from this group, I will try as much as possible. But I mean, like, there's capacity, like a maximum capacity I'm able to offer, right? So if I can just give you a couple of tricks, that's perfect. But obviously, like, it's hard to be able to keep up all the way there. But I got somebody that asked me something. I said I was going to do it. That was in Discord. It says, oh, to take a look if there's a sniffer. So it can be hard to actually like find all the stuff or all the commands that you need to be able to get this done. So obviously, like, one of my best friends, and that's something that you should also have as a best friend now on, if you can, as much as possible, but do not rely 100% only on this, is like something like ChatGPT, right? So I asked a question, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get something like Wireshark. Obviously, we could also Google online, because the goal, sorry, I should probably tell you exactly what he asked. He was asking if I could find out if there was like a sniffer right now on, what's it called? On the machine, right? So if there's a sniffer, we could probably try to activate it just for the sake of actually doing it, going through the motion, right? So in this case here, I'm using Wireshark to be able to do that. That's something we could do. We could go into program, right, to be able to do that. But let's just take a look and see if this one works. So right now we don't have anything in here. But the other case, let's say we'd go here, dir city program. Oh, I'm going to need to do this. Do that. There's a space in between, right? So that's something to keep in mind. And I'll tell you another thing with this afterwards. If well, let's go to program file start. Oh, sorry, habit dir. So now we have Lapse. We see this is a tool that's being added. Lapse, we're going to have to talk about it a little bit later. Windows PowerShell. So there's nothing really here that's interesting us. And then now we're going to do, I think it's 86. Enter. dir. Is there anything here? So, I mean, like, it's not the only place you could take a look at. Like you saw, it was in registry as well. We were looking for this. There's a list that ChatGPT was able to give me, which I can probably share with you directly into all the different locations we're posting or we're streaming. So I'm going to press enter. And then you can probably go take a look directly from there. Oh, it went a little bit weird. Apologize for that. I did copy paste, and I guess it messed it up a little bit. But you got Wireshark, you got Microsoft Network Monitor or Netmon. You got the Microsoft Message Analyzer over here. I can probably put it there too. There's a bunch of different applications that could be looked at. There's probably not limited to this. Also, ChatGPT could be wrong a little bit, so that's something to also keep in mind in there. But it seems that real quick, like this, as we're looking towards, as we're looking in the machine, there's not much in there that seems to be pointing out that there is other application. Obviously, most of the machines we're going to find on Hack the Box are going to be a little bit like on the thin side of applications. So it should be like very limited to pretty much what we're looking for. And that's why, like, as we're moving forward, we see here Lapse being installed, and you're like, oh, Lapse, what is it, right? So now you could ask ChatGPT what it is, right? The actual acronym for that, if you allow me to read a little bit about it, right? It's Local Administrator Password Solution, right? So that's basically a way to be able to manage passwords for local administrators' accounts via the domain, right? So if you have 10 machines and you need to manage the actual password, like the admin password, you may need to change it once in a while, and you don't want that one to be on a sticky note. You don't want it to be easily accessible by anyone else, right? So you can use a solution like this to be able to house yourself out. Yeah, if you're talking about promo code, yeah, anybody that I said was going to give me, I was going to give a 1 month free VIP plus. I had 2 people. I think I got NDE Silverus Nang. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. And then I got someone else too that I had earlier. I think it's, oh shit, I forgot to write your name. But make sure you, I got it here somewhere, but make sure you reach out to me directly on Discord, right? Malvik Secure, sorry, that's my company. Malvik is my actual username on Discord. So make sure you join Discord, like the Discord server, and then let me know if there's anything. Maybe I should just share it in the chat there. Give me a second. We'll share that there to make sure everybody can have a chance later on, or at least if you don't know how to reach out to me, you can. Give me a second. Just need to go get the invite code for Discord. Copy. Let's get this in. Paste, and then enter. There we go. So just join the Discord server there, like enter this into your browser, and then you should be able to join the Hack the Box Ottawa Meetup. Make sure that you accept the terms, and then as soon as you do accept the terms, all the channels are going to be open up to you. And then you're going to see my name as well there. So you're going to be able to talk to me directly through DM, right? So I'm the only admin right now online. So should not be complicated. Reach out to me, and then once we're done with this event, I'll give it to you directly through chat. Make sure you let me know as well who you are. Perfect. Good. Let's keep going over here. Where was I with this case? Oh yeah, that's right. What we're gonna do is we need to do some sort of enumeration, right? We need to find out what is in this machine. We know who am I, right? But then we can also go with /priv. Right, and I press enter. Can take a look. I could do some digging about who they are at workstation to the domain, bypass Travis checking. Maybe not, but that's something we could take a look at. There's another thing too that we can do. What it is again? Oh yeah, the username. Net user, and then we got legacy, and then we can press enter, or the domain probably. Okay, good. So now we see we're part of development, right? Domain user, remote management use, that's fine. Is there like a net group? I think it's like that. Development, enter. We see it's only legacy that's part of it. I'm not too sure exactly what this one would do. Do I need to put domain as well? Enter. No, it doesn't really make any differences. That's something we could keep in mind, and then put it on the side there, and then keep going. One of the tools that could be also very interesting to use, and I think I've talked about it multiple times, and we're gonna go get it. I should probably just close this window. I got a couple here. If I keep using them, eventually it's gonna be too much. Okay, so one of the tools that I really like to use, and that's something you can use on your OSCP if you are interested in doing it. And CPTS as well, you can use that. It's called WinPeace, right? So that's the one I want to take a look at, which is a Windows privilege escalation awesome script. You have also LinPeace for Linux, so it's up to you to decide which one works best for you. So make sure you take a look at your OS, and then you get the right one. So in my case here, I'm going to use WinPeace, and I'm going to use the .exe, I guess. But WinPeace.exe, is there an actual binary I can download? Sometimes there is, sometimes they're not. Binaries, there we go. Okay, there's none there. 86. Is that released then? No. Is there anything else here? XML. So I guess we would have to go a little bit deeper and find it. No. I guess we need to download the whole thing. We got the release over here. We need to download the whole thing. So I don't want to do that. I just want to download, let's say, the bat would be for sure working. Okay, so I'm clicking on it. I'm going to click on raw, because if I copy it, it's long. I could download it, but it's a little bit different. Or I could just do, let's say, copy over here, go back into the background here on this guy here. Let's do, oh, that's all the ports, right? The 65,000 plus ports we looked at earlier. So now we're going to do Timelapse. Go in there, right? We have our information, but what we're going to do here is we're going to do a wget, and then just paste the actual link I got for WinPeace, and we're going to download everything into that location. So we don't have to do more than this. We don't have to do a nano or something like that and then paste it. It does it all for us. LSLA, we see this here. So I see winpeas.bat, and then now I can do a, I got to do sudo because I'm going to do a low port. So sudo Python 3, right? We're going to do a module, http.server, and it's going to be on port 81, right? If we do port 80, because that's normally HTTP, the one we would use, press enter. It's already being used in Parrot. If you're using Kali, it might be fine. So it's up to you to decide which one seems to be the best for you, right? In my case, I'm going to use 81. We could have used that's right. We could have used 53, because keep in mind, as you're trying to exfiltrate information, sometimes that's what you could use to be able to get this done, right? I could do that and then press enter, and then I would use those ports, right? That's one thing I can do to be able to extract that. And then I could use IEX because we're using PowerShell over here. In our case, is it really something we need to do? No, we're using Evil WinRM, right? So, but that would have been a way to be able to get to that machine and then use that. In our case here, does this work? No, that doesn't work. If we do, let's say, I'm going to do exit real quick. Okay, I was in the right place. Okay, so now we're under Timelapse. We see that we have all those files over here. So technically speaking, this is where we are when we are with Evil WinRM. Okay, so keep that in mind. I'm going to do there. Is there anything? No. So if I do upload and then I do, oops. Oh, I guess they already did it. winpeas.bat. So it makes it easy. I could have just written like winpeas and it would have been fine because it's already going to that location. I press enter and then I do a dir. Now I have winpeas directly installed there. /winpeas. It does not auto-populate. And then we're going to do bat. Press enter. So now in this case here, what's interesting with this one, it's going to do a bunch of different commands. It will basically look everywhere without me having to check out, right? The thing is, and that's what you got to keep in mind. If you got like Steve there, right? He's looking around and he's trying to lurk and trying to figure it out during threat hunting or whatnot. Or he's working on a scene right now and putting a couple of rules. He might get alerted eventually, or maybe one of his employees might get alerted. Hey, there's something going on. This tool is very, very noisy, right? So if you're looking to be able to be like going under the radar, and again, that's because you're doing a pen test, like an actual pen test legally, right? Keep that in mind. You're going to do that, right? You're going to try to do it manually, and you're going to take a look at what you need to take a look at without making too much noise. So now we're waiting a little bit. It seems to be taking a little bit longer than I was expecting. Hopefully it goes through. Otherwise, we have a bunch of different things we can take a look at under Hacktricks to find information. So in Linux, how many of you guys are Linux people? Or like, tell me, are you a Linux or Windows guy or girl, I should say. Let's be all inclusive.
Linux.
Are you a Linux? Yeah, you prefer Linux. Why would you prefer Linux for yourself, Steve?
To be quite honest, I'm a command line guy, and PowerShell is, it's coming along, but I still enjoy Bash scripting and Python. I enjoy doing everything from like the command line, and technically I could use VS Code on Windows, and a lot of the coding stuff is simpler. Now there's Bash for Windows and there's PowerShell for Linux. So it's, I guess it's
another Linux.
There are arguments for both, but I really enjoy my Linux.
Okay, we got one person on Windows, Bash, basically a Linux as well. I mean, no, they didn't get Bash on Windows, but there's some commands that you can use on PowerShell. Like let's say we have PowerShell here. I mean, like it might not be the right thing, right? If I do ls over here or dir, it's the, I mean, it should be working technically speaking. There's also, that's right. If you do, let's say a cat on, I'm not going to do a cat on that CAssert, right? But let's go to Timelapse. dir, and then I do a cat on a legacy dot. Is there a dot? No, it's under dot crt. Right. So if I do a cat, which is normally like a bash command or something like that, that's not usable directly into a command prompt, right? So that's the thing. That's what you got to think about. A lot of the stuff that you can do. Oh, even wget, right? Wget is feasible, I think, from this. So if I do, let's say, HTTP server here, and I go here and then do wget, and then I got my IP 10.10.15, and then where's it at? 44. There we go. And then I put 53 in there. If I just do this for fun, is there a file I could just get for the sake of it? Copy. Let's put it there, right? And then I'm going to do output to test, right? Just for fun. See? So we have test now. 403. Do we have another 403? Or maybe it didn't work as well. Maybe it was some LSLA. Maybe it didn't work, this one. So wget should be there normally. Like if you play around on Windows, you should be able to get a lot of different commands that you're used to with Linux on that. You can do a curl as well. Let's say we do a curl over here, right? So you can see like those two went through, right? Those two commands. So that's for sure that those two commands should be feasible to work around. So there's a bunch of stuff. Like it's not just like IEX and then use PowerShell stuff. What, invoke command script block. Okay. So that's what you got to keep in mind there, right? So a bunch of stuff PowerShell is being used. So we have Bash, Linux. We got 33 people. We got just a few answers. We got a couple of shy people there. 33. Yeah, I mean, don't feel shy. Just like share. You might be Windows and Linux. You don't care. That's possible too.
Yeah.
For me, I would say that I like Linux for certain things. I like Windows for certain things. So if I had to choose in between the two, there's only one I can choose. I think I would go Linux. I mean, like you already know, I'm a Mac guy. So just to start with, for me, I would go with that straight up. If I had to choose between the three, but I'm quite sure right now okay, I don't see any people dropping out right now, so I'm not helping any nerds at this point. That's good. Hopefully it stays this way. But to be honest, I have a full-blown machine with a 5950X and a 3080 right next to me as well too. So it all depends on what you need to accomplish to be able to get that. Because I do think that my Windows machine has a really great purpose to be able to do it. But then at the same time, I like Linux to do other stuff. So I think they all have their own purpose for their own things. But if I have to work with end-to-end organizations, I would say that I would go Linux for lightweight as much as possible, right? So that's the first thing. Secondly, you can use Windows to have only command prompt in there, or PowerShell, and do all that stuff. But it does not allow you to do everything, and it can be a little bit harder sometimes to go around. So either way. Now, I mean, like this one's been running for a little while. Let's see what data we got from this. Hopefully we get something. If not, we're going to do some manual stuff. The reason why also I was asking you about is like we have the console history.txt, right? There's something for the Linux people that says they were bash or both or something like that. There's something that's similar to this. What's the file if somebody enter like commands? What is the file that you would find to be able to get the history of the bash stuff that you're doing or bash commands? While you're answering this, we're going to keep taking a look if we have anything, but for sure, like this one, looking inside this would be quite interesting. Take a look at. We never know if there's something that has been entered. So that was the start. Do we have anything here? I'd be willing to meet up at one point with you guys. That'd be cool.
Yeah, live meetup would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, like, it could be going to I don't know, like a location, going for coffee or going for lunch or dinner or something like that. That could be cool as well to maybe organize something like this. I don't see anything else. Looking inside, okay. There's the history here. Do we have anything else? No. So still going through the whole thing there. I mean, there's so much time we can spend on just waiting. I might just do a little bit of a manual investigation. There you go. That's exactly what it is. So the file I'm going to be looking at, right, is the equivalency of the .bash_history. That's exactly what Thunderstruck mentioned. All right, I'm going to kill this one. Hopefully you guys don't judge me for this. Okay, there we go. And we're going to do a, let's see, cat, right? I'm on the Windows machine. I'm using cat to be able to take a look at the console history. And this is where we see some of the goodies, right? We see here where something was attempted, like some sort of like a script. And we can see here, that's the SO new PS session, right? Skip CA check, skip CN check, and then revocation check. So it's basically all the certs that it'd be going through. It's basically skipping all of that. Then what we're doing here, we're converting. Well, all of these information is going through that variable there. Then we're going to convert to a string this specific password, right, as plain text, and we're going to put it here under the $P. Then $C, the new object, system management automation, PS credentials. It's basically the SVC_deploy. So that looks like it could be a username, and we could check it out, right? So that's user SVC_deploy that we have here. Yeah, deploy. There we go, and then domain. Right. So it seems that it is an actual person, and we see, oh, take a look, we have Lapse Reader. So that's what I was saying about Lapse, right? I gave you a small blurb about what it is, a method to manage the password for local administrator account via domain and so on, right? So that's something that could be very interesting for us. We don't have access to that on the current user, but this one we might have access. So this is something we're going to have to check out very soon, but we want to get there right now. Okay, so because we were able to get the credentials, SVC deploy, we were able to get everything sorted out. So let's take a look at what we can do with this. So we have copy. I'm just gonna start a new shell. Oh, maybe I can use this one. No, let's kill this one. Don't need it anymore. Or maybe I should have. Port 53 is still being used. I guess I should have killed it before, but I didn't do it. So either way, no big deal. It's something we can easily kill later on if we need to. I mean, like if you actually have like specific information in that folder that you don't want to share with the world, that's something you should kill right now. For my case, it's only like files that are coming up from this machine in this case, which is fine. All right, so now we're going to do evil -win rm, and then we're going to take a look at what we need to accomplish in this case. Let's go back. Now we got it here. Now we know we have the user. I think it's lowercase, yeah. Okay, user, which is this guy. Then we have the password, which I think it's also lowercase, because I think capital case is the actual, oh no, it's port. Capital case would have been port. So lowercase for this one. And we're going to go with this. I'm going to copy as well the quotation, because there's a dot and a couple of stuff in there. If you don't do it, it most likely won't work. And then now, do we need anything else? We need, yes, I think it's and then time lapse.htb. And I think that's it. Is it? Is it going to work? What was the command on this guy? Yeah, I'm missing the S for secure. Overtime. Yes, I'm going overtime. I put 2 hours, but I think with the interaction with all of you guys, I'm quite sure Steve is fine with this. We're going to go overtime to make sure that we cover the whole machine. Steve, you good? You're muted.
I'm on mute, hardware mute.
Yeah.
I'm
now you're good.
I'm frantically tinkering in my lab to see if I can show something cool.
Okay. Oh, nice. Oh man, I should eventually show you something. I think it could be very, very interesting. And that's basically like shares. You know, like when you have like share folders and shared stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm working on a Splunk Universal Forwarder for Windows to get events to Splunk. See if it works.
Some gravy. Some gravy. Okay, I'm trying to kill it. It does not work. Oh, you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Did my machine die? Sorry, give me a second. I need to go check because it seems that I'm not able to do anything on that machine right now. I'm typing stuff and it's not working. Where is my hack the box stuff? Yeah, sorry about that. I just need to get this sorted out because my machine is not working anymore for some reason. And maybe I closed down my window with hack the box. Oh no, I didn't close it. It's right there. You guys don't see I have a prompter there, and I put my window there, and I just forgot it was there while I was looking at it the whole time. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. My machine turned off. So I guess I'm going to have to start it again. So let's do this again. You're welcome. We're here to be able to help everybody out. So yeah, that's the best thing to do. Trying to make a contact outside of the console. A connection outside of console. Is that trying to make a connection outside of the console? Are you literally
like
saying
console
like, huh?
Like a human connection.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
I was like, is it literally or that's different? So that's exactly what I thought. That's good. All right. It just started. So open desktop. Let's get back here. So because we're starting back again, I'm just going to need to do a couple of things, right? I'm just going to go back because the thing is, this machine now, or at least this one that I had in the past, is not valid anymore. So I needed to start it again because my files, if I take a look, LSLA or Timelapse, see, there's no Timelapse anymore. So no big deal. I already went through the whole thing. So I'm just going to copy one. Do I have the password there? I guess do I have to enter that password? Did I copy it somewhere? Yeah, I got it. Okay, that's good. So we're going to be good to go. I'm just going to go back here and we are going to get this thing there started. Okay, so where I was on evil win RM. Okay, and we had the password that was between quotations. We had also Timelapse, which is not added on this guy here anymore, but we need to enter it there. So we are going to copy it. It's the same location. So sudo etc host. Again, I did the same error at the beginning of the stream. Nano, and then press enter. Now we are going to go back down, Control-Shift-V, and then put all that information over there. It's the same IP that we have for that machine, because it's my machine, my Kali that didn't work. And I need to change that. I did not do it. Lateral move. There we go. So now Control-X. Yes, Y, and then press enter. Now we have everything back to where we were. So now I timelapse.htb. I'm going to do on capital S, and then I think we need the username -u, which SVC deploy, I believe. Press enter. Let's take a look. There we go. Who am I? Timelapse. Okay, so that's good. One of those things there that we were talking about earlier, right? It's basically that lapse. Lapse, again, I'm just going to reiterate it. It's a local administrator password solution. If for us, we are currently SVC deploy, it means that if I do net user and then SVC underscore deploy on the domain, press enter, I'm going to be able to see lapse underscore reader, right? So it's feasible to be able to read lapse. There's two ways you can actually think about taking a look at it, right? One of the easiest way I would say to take that into consideration, right, would be to use something like crack map exact. I think that's what it's called, right? And then we would be able to believe to find the exact information with this. If we go to, let's say, for example, because I don't know 100% the whole command, and I'm trying to figure it out, or I'm trying to figure it out a way to be able to enumerate lapse. And then I like to write Actrix because this guy is phenomenal and everything he did. What's called WinPeace could have potentially helped us out here as well too. But in our case, let's go to Hacktrix, where we're going to be able to find some information. We know we can read it. So there's probably something that can be actually done. So the password access. Okay, so ADMPWD potentially could help us out to find commands or something like that. There's also a toolkit that could potentially help us out. And then that's the one I was talking about right here. So basically speaking here, we have the protocol we're going to use, LDAP, the IP where we're going, the user, the password, which we already have, the KDC host, which is, again, the IP we can enter, and then the modules. The modules, there's a bunch of them, and I'm going to show you what you can do. And that's basically for LDAP, but we also have different modules for SMB. We have different modules for a bunch of different things. So if I go here, and I need to get this up, we're going to copy a bunch of different things that we have from this one because it's very similar. You can either type CME, right? I think it would bring up to this, and you can see here your available protocol, right? So now we're going to type CME or crack map exact, and then we have the LDAP. We're going to get in there. Then, oh, I should have probably just pasted that thing there. There you go. That's even easier. Here we can put just like timelapse.htb. I'm going to put this a bit bigger, but not to cover the password if I need it. Okay, password over here. We're going to enter it there. I'm just going to do my other one here so I don't have to go back. SVC underscore the deploy. No, that's the username. I need to put timelapse.htb. And then here I'm going to put a username SVC underscore deploy, and then the password. No, that's not that. I think there's an easier way to erase all of that if I would have needed it. All right, let's take that password again, coming from here. And then paste it there. So we should be good to go. Okay, so the whole thing that's going to be happening, everything's going to be manual. Automatic. So as soon as I press enter, the whole thing that should be happening will be happening. I'm going to show you as well later on a different way of being able to make it happen as well to get this done. But that needs to be done, I think, through the terminal, if I can remember it right. Let me see if I can find the actual way of doing it. Where did I put it? Oh, I think it's here. Because there is another way as well that if we need to get it done, we could get it done through. Okay, that's not that. Give me a second, because right now we have the admin password, and I just want to show you a different way of being able to get it done. Oh, there you go. I got the actual command. Okay, so I showed you a manual way. You got all the information. That's probably, to me, that would be the easiest one to remember on how to do it, right? If you're not sure that the module is lapse, you just do a CME LDAP, I believe, and that I think is -L. And then you see the modules over here, right? That's the low privilege modules. There's no admin privilege modules over here. So that's the one I selected over here. Retrieve all lapse password, which the account has read permission for, right? So it's easy enough to understand that this is going to help us out. In the other case where we are directly on the machine, that might be a little bit confusing. So I'm just going to lower it down. I'm just going to copy and paste this specific command. If I press enter here, you're going to see that we're going to go into the AD property, AD computer, DC01 property, and this is the exact thing that we're looking for. And now we have the password that we can read, right? I don't know if we can read star. Is there something else we can do with this? I'm not sure. Maybe there's even more. Oh, see, I mean, like there's a bunch of stuff we could probably get out of that. If there was other computers in here, or at least other passwords we could try to take a look at. So now we see the actual password. That's good. It's coming from, where is it at? I saw it a second ago. I passed over it. Okay, there we go. So what I'm going to do, just for the sake of having fun, right? Because if you're trying to use PowerShell to segregate some information, we're going to get back here. But, oh, I guess it could be probably property. No, it's not property. Star. If you're looking FT, I'm trying to remember. There's ways of being able just to get that. If you're, yeah, there you go. So if you're only looking for this, you could just do this, right? So FT, I can remember exactly what it is, but it's basically like putting it into a table, and we're looking for that specific information only, right? If we're looking to add information on our table, it could be DNS host name. So now we're basically just extracting it. So if there was like, I don't know, 10,000 different entries for different things, because this is a PowerShell, we could actually do this way. So now we know it's the DNS host name. We know it's this one here, and we know that's the actual password. So see, that's another way to be able to read those specific passwords in there. There's one comment here. Lapse hack tricks. Yeah. Thank you very much. Exactly. I mean, it gives you pretty much everything. If you take a look at the website, that's going to be pretty much everything in there. So let's go back over here. We could have used different things to be able to log back in. But right now I'm going to use, again, WinRM to be able to get there. But we could have used, I guess, yeah, let's show this one over here real quick then. I guess that could be another thing that could be a very good learning experience. I guess I should have kept the quote. And I think it's missing a 3. Yeah, it's missing 3. There we go. Here we're going to put administrator. Timelapse. Good. So if I press enter, not the module. So we see here, it's pwned. So now we know this one works. If, for example, we need to do it, so we want to get, I think it's this one here. Let's say we know the actual place where all of them are. My IP is 1.29, and then 33.133. Okay, so that's what it is. But oops, if I put, for example, /24. So /24 basically would use to scan the whole subnet mask that goes along with this one, right? So anything that's like under 10129. Oh, I put 22. It's 33. 33.133. Anything that falls under this one, like pretty much like from IP1 to 254, basically speaking, right, would be scanned on this case, right? So it would be a way to figure it out if it's the actual one. Let's say we're not sure about the administrator password and we think we have like a bunch of username potentially. We could put it as a list to be able to help us out because we think this is an actual password, right? So that'd be something that we could actually do to get it done. So that's something that you should keep in mind, okay? But in our case, we're not going to do /24 because I don't want to go through all of them. What can we use? I guess let's do a, just for the sake of it, might not be the best thing to do, but let's do a /31 for now and then see what's happening. So see, it's going to go through two different targets. I'm not going to kill it right now because I don't want Hack the Box to be pissed because I'm trying to scan others. But if you're into a enterprise environment and you need to scan and trying to find out how many computers are compromised with this one, right? This password, and for example, this administrator or this user or a different user, you could point it to a bunch of different computers and then eventually it would pop up as like this one is actually compromised, right? Because that computer has the credentials in there. Good. So in our case here, now we do this, LDAP, so on. We know we're going to pawn it. So I'm just going to come back here. And then we're going to do evil WinRM. WinRM, I think I was missing something, huh? Part of it. Evil WinRM. Do I have it here? Or no, that's on the other one, huh? Let's go back up. P, the S, I need to think about it. So U, I, okay, so it's I, it's missing, and S. There we go. So -I over here, and then we can probably put -S here as capital. Soon, hopefully. Oh. Yes, quit that. Yes, enter. Okay. So there's a /31 I missed. Forgot to remove it. I wanted to show you something and I forgot to remove it afterwards. Copy. Let's minimize this. Minimize that. Paste. And then remove it. Because WinRM is not going to connect to all of them, right? Timelapse.hdb. There we go. Who am I? I am administrator. So if I go to cd /desktop, cd, oh, okay. Was it in the location where I was? cd, yeah. I can show them if you ask again from your iPhone. Siri just started. I said CD and then Siri started.
I love it.
Yeah. It's document. Maybe it was in there. Documents. Oh, interesting. Where is that flag at? Desktop. There. It's not there. There. Oh, there's others. TRX? What's TRX? I did not go there. I did not get the flag, to be honest, on this one. Desktop. There. Oh, there we go. Type root. What I'm wondering is like, were they expecting us to be TRX or administrator? I'm assuming administrator. in this case. But yeah, I mean, like that's what it is at this in this case. So now I have my flag. I'd be able to go back directly in there and then enter it. That wouldn't be an issue. So maybe I can do that. Yeah, let's bring up my other panel over here, right? So I got this here. You can see I did not even paste it there yet. Adventure mode. Oh, that's a good point, right? So normally most of the machines you're going to be in adventure mode, right? There is a chance to be able to get into guided mode, and where it's going to give you a couple of tasks, give you questions, and you just have to answer them. And as you answer all those questions there, it will be basically pointers to be able to bring you up to the next step. So if I go back here onto this guy, and then I paste it there, submit. So now we have root flag own, and I'm just going to go, I guess I can go to these city again, dir. No, that was in legacy. And then type user.txt. There you go. And I'm going to go back here and then paste it. Submit. So now we can see that we were able to own it, right? So I'm one of the last one that's actually like pwned it at this point, because obviously there's a bunch of people that were able to get there, but it gives you basically an idea that I went through. So yeah, so that's what it is here, and that was the machine. But stay tuned, because there is still a little part that we need to cover with Steve. And do we have goodies, Steve, that you were able to work on, or you need 2 more minutes?
I have some stuff I can show.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, for sure.
Which one do you want? You want your browse? Sorry, you want your slides, or you want your screen?
No, my screen.
Your screen. Okay,
yeah,
so let's bring this up over here, and then
beautiful.
There you go.
So what I've been trying to do is bring some of my syslog stuff or sysmon stuff over from Windows. So we'll kind of take a step back. During a lot of the, like the attack piece, there's always a footprint, right? And there are many ways to find it. And, you might use an EDR, or you might use, generally be an EDR, XDR, MDR, RDR, I don't know. So anyways, it used to be just called EDR and endpoint detection and response. And what it does, and you can see here, I'm running WinPeas. So what it does is when someone's, up to no good, like JF is in these in these meetups, you want to make sure you can see it, right? You want to make sure that if something's happening, you can identify it. And, I did it the old-fashioned way here. I just installed sysmon on Windows. One of my old gigs, sysmon was part of the package that we would deploy, and then we would just have a front end so that you wouldn't have to go into Event Viewer and try and find the operational logs. But I don't know if I can make this any bigger or not. It might be kind of tiny. Let me see if I can do something about resolution. Rock and roll. Okay. So anyways, maybe what I'll do is I'll just switch up how I'm showing this. So I'll remove that for now, and then I'll just show the window. There we go. Okay. So stop screen, share screen, and this is just this workstation. Perfect. Is that a little better, a little bigger?
Yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit better. I mean, like, yeah, for me, I understand what you're trying to show. Is there anybody here that? Oh, that's even better.
Okay, I'll just keep making it smaller. So really, what I'm looking at here is, as I'm running WinPeas over here, there are a lot of processes that are created and terminated, right? So this one here, if I go into the actual details, you can see the command line. You can see that I'm in this directory. And a lot of this information can be extracted and into artifacts, right? So this is where we start our hunting. So you can see that really it's cmd.exe, and actually if we go to task manager, see more details. Details. One of the things we can do is look at, so without having any sort of tool running like sysmon, we can dig in here. Come on, show me. Here we go. Which path name and command line. I can actually see what is running. So I don't know why that column has to be so wide. So for instance, if I look at this, I can see it's cmd.exe, right? But once I add my command line, I can now go over and see, I have WinPs running. Oh, I have cmd.exe running a whole lot of crap that I don't know why this is. Something about a Docker file now. What's going on here? So these are all little tidbits that you can take. And this is, you know how there's living off the land from an attacker perspective, where you hijack certutil or PowerShell or whatever to do bad things. Well, you can also use native Windows tools to do good things. So this is kind of the reverse living off the land, or blue living off the land. So anyways, all that to say, now if I go into sysmon, one of the cool things sysmon does, actually, what is one of the cool things sysmon does based on this information that I'm highlighting here? JF, are there any more vouchers left? Do we have...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, yes, there's one. So have at it if you want to. Okay. And there's another, there's also another one for the cubes. But the cubes, that one there, I'm going to need an email and then provide it to Hack the Box, and they will add, sorry, I don't know why I said an H, add. There's none. So they will need to add it to your account later on. So it's not going to be instant, but I will need your email at that point. So yes, one more VIP Plus if you want to raffle this one with a question.
Cool. So if you look under the general here, I was going to say details because there's general and details, and I was reading two things at once apparently. If you look under the general pane here, what is a useful artifact that I can pull to search that I couldn't get from Task Manager?
Can you say your question again?
Yeah. So what is a very useful artifact that I can pull from the general information here that I can't find in Task Manager?
Ooh. That's a good question. I'm trying to have the answer myself. I mean, like, I trick you once in a while, Steve. I think it's your turn now to help me out. Well, sorry, not to help me out, but to screw me over. I'm trying to remember. Oh, that's a good question.
So what's a piece of information I could copy out of here and I could use to search, I guess, either in my logs here or in an EDR or a SIM?
I mean, there's so many answers I could say, but I'm not even sure if that's the right one. Looking forward to know about it. Or confirm.
Let's see. If I go back here and I look at all my columns, there's something here that's missing. That I have over here.
So there is one here answer. I'm not sure if that's the answer. Sorry. I put it there, but nope. Is that the answer? That's not? Okay.
That's not it.
That's not it.
Because I can pull that from Well, parent process. Let's see if I can pull parent process. I have the command line, so I have the full path here. And David T for the win. It's the hash. So there's a SHA-256 hash here. And in most EDR situations, you will take a hash and you can search for, hey, do I see this hash anywhere else in my environment? Okay, well, then that means it's probably someone doing something bad.
So David T, but I think that's your second one, right? That's your second one, right? I think. Because I'd like to be able to give one per person at least. Sure. Okay. So the second person that answered it, like I think at the same time, was on Discord, was Lateral BA on Discord. So I would say that's the other person that would be that. So David, I'll give you one for sure. No problem at all with this. And that was the right answer. So you can be proud of yourself. But Lateral BA, did I give you one? Like, are you part of this right now? I'm just trying to make sure, because some people sometimes are using what is it called, YouTube, and then they use Discord with two different names. So I just want to make sure that's. Did you already get one? Just waiting for a second. Or that's your only one today? Talking about today.
I think that's your only one today.
Yeah, I think so. I'll say yes. Well, I mean, there's only one I can give you, so we got to make sure everything is fine. All right, sounds good. So we got Lateral BA that has it as well too, and I'll be able to give it to you later on. Okay, I think so. Yes, I think that's you, the only one. All right, good, perfect. So now I think we have all three, but we are going to have to raffle another one later on. So it's up to you, Steve. If you have another question very soon to ask the audience, we have 500 cubes that we can give you from Hack the Box Academy.
Awesome. I'm just looking to see if I have some proper output here from Kanza. And oh, here we go. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to kind of touch on is, I said I would try and, like, I think on LinkedIn, I said I would try and make it more of a DFIR kind of situation here. So Sysmon is often great for, acting fast, acting quickly, right? You can identify things because you can then spread your detection. Like, you can spread the net based off of a hash or a process or a parent process, stuff like that. And then Kanza is a tool that was written by a guy who I worked with at Tanium. And it was funny because I did the GCFA a couple of years ago, and they used Kanza, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm like, oh, it was written by, like, Dave? Like, holy smokes, So I started playing with it a little bit, and what I've used it for, I guess more than anything, is compromise assessments. So if someone says, I'm not sure, but then I can go through with Kanza and let's see if I've got something here. What I did just on this system was I ran it on itself. But it is a tool that you can reach out and essentially scan your network. And as long as WinRM is enabled and PS exec, then you can crawl. If there's credentials for every system, you would generally use this as using credentials that will give you access to any system within your domain. It will crawl and it will pull information like this. Like, let's see if I go into my output. So it basically pulls an inventory, and this isn't necessarily all of it. But you can see, like, edit with Notepad++. Not much going on this workstation, but if someone were, so like, for instance, this Bauer, like that's weird, right? Because my last name is Bowers. So why would that be like that? It is because I registered it through Microsoft, and that is the username they gave me, to be quite honest. But you know, you can go through like in the actual source code, and you can see there are a lot of parameters, so you can choose which port you're going to use. And this is kind of cool because this didn't exist when I first started using it. I just noticed it today. So he's actually building it to integrate with Elk. And yeah, like he's added an awful lot. Safe word. That's hilarious. He's added an awful lot of features. I know he took a bit of a hiatus for a while, and he's worked at like Red Canary, and now I think he's at Wiz. So he took some time off after he left Tanium, and he worked like on this for quite some time. And he's an absolute weapon when it comes to incident response. He used to actually come to Ottawa to do hands-on hunting presentations for Tanium. Let's see what else we got. Netstat. So I can see what's listening. I just want to see if this. Okay, this is a bit more of an exciting file. So what I'll say is essentially, let's say you have 100 systems, and you pull all that information, and you can take it, and from Notepad++, it's not necessarily the best place. You'd want to use some sort of a spreadsheet tool where you can actually filter things down. When you take all the information, so all the netstat, let's say, and you know that there's, let's say you have 100 web servers, so you know port 443, port 80 are probably going to have some sort of connection. Well, if someone's listening on port 8443, I'm just going to add an 8 there, or 1443, or something that's not a normal web port, but you have this server farm that should all be doing the exact same thing. Well, that's where you find your outliers. So that's what outlier analysis is. When you take a whole lot of data, put it all in one spot, and then just kind of, I forget the filter, but you can just filter by, you know, what shows up only once, what shows up only 10 times out of 100. And that can point you towards systems that you need to like dig a little bit deeper into. Let's see, like PowerShell profiles. So this is using WMI to find running processes. I don't think that this has, oh, it does. Yeah. So what do we see here? Again, this is process hashes. So Kanza actually has a switch that I would have to, let me see if I can find it here. Where you can actually enter a hash to search for it. So this could be your application that helps you with hunting once you've discovered the hash. Let me see here. Add param. Okay, I don't want to tinker too much, waste everybody's time. But at some point, there is actually a you can feed it a list of hashes essentially. So I could go from here, you know, and really you don't want to do your incident response from Windows Event Viewer. You want to be able to forward that. And one day I will get it forwarded here, unless, no, nothing happened. Okay. I was hoping that maybe, just maybe there'd be something. But this is just for another sample of showing how logging works in another application. But there is actually a Sysmon adapter for Splunk. I just think I've screwed up my universal forwarder on my Windows box because I've never set one up before. So there's always that. And trying to do it in like 5 minutes isn't necessarily conducive to success. So yeah, so if I were to want to take this hash and then run Kanza and then search for that hash, let me see. That's not it at all.
So while you're doing your stuff, I just remember everyone that I'm going to be copying the Discord server. If you want to join us, make sure that you come and sign up. And we're going to be able to do those sessions again. And there's even more that's coming up as well eventually. So make sure to sign up to be able to be in the known, to for whatever the case may be. There's CTF sometimes we do, or at least we want to take part. We took part of the Apocalypse CTF from Hack the Box last time, and our team, I mean, like the Ottawa Meetup, I think we ended up like around like 127 out of like I think it was what 11, was it 11,000 team? I'm trying to remember, but I mean, like it was a ton of team. I think it was over 11,000 team, and we ended up 127. Then the people that are really dedicated and wants to keep going, I bring them to basically business CTF, where we allow them to basically use my my company to go even further. And then that one there, we finished 37. Right. And we were competing against, like, we were very close to Microsoft Red Team and Google Team as well, too. So that's a way to be able to get much better and so on. And you can also probably get some information from other people in the server about it and how much progress we've done so far. So, yeah. And if I have other giveaways or I have other stuff I want to share, I normally share them there. So make sure to sign up and then come and join us. Right. So sorry, you can keep going, Steve.
Yeah, no problem. I think I might be maybe out of my gourd over here. I thought there was a list of hashes, but I don't see how to do it.
Yeah. I can keep talking if you need an extra minute to be able to find it. Okay, so the other thing too, I can add up to anyone that's here listening to us. I see we have a bunch of people. Really grateful to have all of you here, right? We're doing it, at least for this portion, we're doing it on the last Thursday of every month. So if that's something that interests you. We also have a, maybe I should share the meetup webpage where we also schedule that there. If I can just get this, whoop, I need this instead. I'm going to copy it and put it in chat. So that's something you can just sign up and then come in there. Oh, if I just remove this, hold on. I'm just going to make sure that it's the right place, because I don't want you guys to be just going everywhere. Okay, I think that's the right place. Okay, good. So that's the place where we post the meetups, right? That's the second link is the place where we post the meetups. So you can join over there. That's where you're going to get also the YouTube link or something like that, wherever you want to get that. And then you can be informed as well when we do the next one through different means. But it's also a way for you to understand where we're going. There is other stuff I'm looking at. I posted on Discord. Like I'm seeking for people that are interested to present their projects as well to the group, to the community, and so on. So to be able to do it here would be great. So I got somebody that's is interested in giving up like a course. I want a small course, right? The presentation of on OSINT. So I'm working right now with that person to figure out how we're going to get it done, and then eventually be able to push it to you guys. I'm looking as well another person that I've been working closely lately that wants to also present something that he's done with a seam, and I think it's, I mean, like, I don't know all the details, so don't quote me here, but I think he wants to show like the elastic stack. So we're talking about, let's say, the Lockstash, elastic security, Kibana, and the likes. I think he wants to work on something like this, and I think he wants to show a honeypot as well too, and then we can learn about different things. So and I got another one that wants to demonstrate something. So either way, that's a way that if we can keep talking together and have those presentations. Right now we're doing it on the last Thursday of the month, right, for these sessions, but we're probably going to do more in the long run. So just stay tuned for this. You have something you want to share now? No? Okay, you didn't find it. Okay.
There's going to have to be a follow-up on that.
Okay,
maybe I'll go deeper on it.
Good. So we're done with your stuff, or you have a little bit more you want to add?
Yeah, no, that's really, that was a good intro to, a little bit more on the forensic side of being able to identify stuff. I just, at one point I will have things talking to my Splunk instance, and then we can dive a little bit deeper. But for now, yeah, like when it comes to this kind of stuff, once someone's in, you've got to figure out how to find them, and doing so generally requires a lot of information from your endpoints, and then a tool, which, could be behavioral analytics tool, which, based on the user, the location, the time, and the action might trigger something. Otherwise, you've got to really be the one who does that. And when that happens, it ends up you're looking at stuff like search auto canceled, rock and roll. You're looking at stuff like this day in, day out, where you'll have a bunch of events. Hopefully, things will be somewhat tuned, so you don't have to look at a lot of nonsense before you can actually get to the data that you need. But ultimately, once you start understanding what it is you're looking for, then you can configure your tools, and from there, it's just happy hunting.
Yeah, hunting is fun sometimes, right? Finding like that, it's basically you're going for a treasure hunt.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, it can't feels good finding those things, but once you find like a really bad alert, or sorry, bad breach or something like that, you see people just like running left and right, and you're like, oh shit, what did I do? But at the
Yep.
same time, it's for the good of the organization, right? So,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, no, I love what you're showing here, Steve. I think this is very valuable for a lot of people, and that's something probably we should maybe work a little bit more on to get done.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's also some. I think you have some maybe insight that you could give us eventually for maybe some what's called vulnerability management, something like that. Maybe a little peek into how we could get this done. I'm not trying to sell Steve right now. I'm just saying that that'd be great if at one point it's possible, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Happy to help there.
Yeah. The next one I'd like to be able to show as well is the one with shares. I think that could be a really good one to actually experiment, and then I show you. I think in the next one on this, we still have lots of people. That's the question. So I'm just going to post it here. Would love more interaction like this red team than how blue team deals with it. I'm not sure if I understand 100% the question. Is like, are you looking for like understanding how the blue team will react to a red team, finding that there is some issues? So basically a purple action kind of deal, right? Where the blue and the red are working together simultaneously to understanding each other's job or trying to make the other one better. Is that what you're talking about? Is that how you understood that question?
I'm wondering, is it more like I showed today, like a bit more on the technical side rather than on the just me kind of chatting? Actually, there is one more thing.
Oh, okay.
There's one more thing I want to show. Let me just stop this screen. And there's one more thing, because there's another aspect to what we did today. And that was we essentially, you went in, you exploited, because I was watching as you're going through, and you can see that sometimes that permissions were delegated, right? So one of the free tools out there that I enjoy is Purple Knight. And basically, this vendor has a whole product suite or whatever, but they have two really awesome free tools. And I've showed Purple Knight before, but I guess it takes a minute to load. But once it loads, you just do a quick scan. And so instead of having to, let me see if I can just show output, because I did do a scan earlier. Oh, here we go. Sweet. Instead of worrying all the time about your Active Directory, you can simply use a tool like this. I've got my domain, my forest, next. And really, I'm looking for all kinds of stuff. So there's AD delegation, account security, group policy settings, Kerberos, hybrid. And now I wait. And it doesn't take long because I have a very small domain. But this is one of those tools that, you could run it quarterly, something like that. And this is, like some of the major vulnerability scanner vendors have this kind of thing already. But essentially, in a brief period, I get a lot of information. So I have 16 indicators of exposure that is found. So if I view report, ask me later, allow block content. Again, I will make this smaller.
Yeah. So right now it's not too bad, but what is Steve doing that he should not be doing normally? Using Internet Explorer to go on the internet.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I would say. But I mean, he's reviewing something from his computer that he knows that should be legit, right? So that's why at this point is not too much of an issue.
Yeah, and to that point, what we can do is, because it was having a bit of a pain opening it. There we go. Chrome also just works better. So you can see here, 16 I always found, 3 not relevant. So print spooler services enabled on a DC, privileged users with weak password policy. There's, this is the kind of thing that it's all relatively easy to fix. And if someone is running this on like a quarterly basis, then if someone gets access, you are saying, okay, all these indicators of exposure, dangerous user rights granted by GPO, like account with old password for Kerberos. You can fix this stuff relatively quickly, right? And it's not even user impacting. So that's one of the things that, once someone gets access, try and make it as hard as possible for them to escalate privileges, right? So Purple Knight's just one of those tools that's good at telling you, regularly. Some tools are real time. This one, I think if you paid for their subscription or whatever, it'd be real time. This one's just like a point in time, but it's still useful, right? You take this report, you go fix the problems, and if you dig in, everything gets a little bit more detailed, so you can go in and see exactly what to do and how to fix it. And then you just run the scan again, in a week after you're supposed to do the remediation, and then you go from there. So that's something that that's kind of the heart of resilience, right? Is being able to observe, orient, decide, and act really quickly before someone gets in, so that you can actually build some sort of resilience. And hopefully, yes, one day we probably all will get popped, but if we can keep on going and not let the damage be too bad, then we win, right? So that's pretty much all we can do.
True. Purple Knight is not a tool I've used before. Is that a tool that everyone can use with community edition type deal, or that's something that normally would be a bit more for pro consumer or companies?
It's just open source, or not open source, sorry, but it's free.
Oh, it's free, so people could actually do it. It's a little bit like OpenVAS.
Yeah, except OpenVAS is a little bit of a beast, let's say.
Of a beast on a good way or a bad way? Like it's hogging a lot of resources. That's what you're saying, and then
it could be something to get it up and running, depending on how you do it. But this is you literally download it from their website. Like if you have to sign up or whatever, someone will ping you and ask you what you want to do, but then you just download it. You get Purple Knight Community. You just run purpleknight.exe, and Bob's your uncle.
That's good. I love it. Yeah, I never tried that one, and there's so many tools out there to be able to get there. I see there's a question here by Taikon Gong. Sorry, I apologize. Can you download the course? What do you mean by download the course? On showing up this over here, like the type of course we're actually doing, or I'm not too sure what you're talking about, because that's not necessarily a course we're showing up. It's like basically tools to show you how to do things. If you can be just a bit more precise, please. If you're talking about the fact that Steve and I are actually working on building up courses, right, and be able to release it eventually to the masses. That's something that's not done yet, but eventually we will release it, and you guys will know. So obviously, get in the known about what we're doing. If you keep in touch on us with on LinkedIn, X, the Discord server, and so on, right? So we are here, and then eventually when they are available, we'll release them to you guys, at least so you can go through it. Some are going to be payable, obviously, right? Because we cannot just release everything for free or give everything that we know for free. We have to be able to earn money a little bit too. But as much as we can, we are going to share as much as possible with you.
Absolutely.
That answers your question. I'm not too sure if that's exactly what you were looking for, but if you want to clarify that into the comments, I'd be happy to be able to answer that. Good. Anything else you wanted to share, Steve?
No, I am good.
Okay, so I saw there was a question here. Well, I mean, like I showed it earlier. It says purple type of meetup. So I added this. I might be a little bit too small. Maybe I can make it tiny bigger. Let's go back here. And then where's the plus? There it is. Okay, so that's Sherlock Noxious, right? That's something that's right now available on the platform. So that's something you can actually do. You can see here on the right side, you can download a file. You have also a password that's attached to it. It's 129 meg, and then you open that up and you have to go through it. That's basically this one. How they call it? Hold on. Noxious category SOC, Security Operations Center. If you go on the enterprise platform, they call it DFIR, which is digital forensic and incident response. So they're a little bit different. I mean, like it seems that on the enterprise version, it's easy. On this one here, on the platform that most people have access, like as a individual, it's going to be very easy. But either way, if you go back in there, click, there you go. This is where you download this, and then you're basically somebody doing forensics. And that's something that most likely next month I'm going to cover. So not just like red team only, but we're probably going to cover these type of stuff. And if I can also have some example that I can give from some previous Hack the Box machines or something like that, I'm thinking about trying to show them as well too. At least I have to get all the concept all sorted out, but that's something I want to put on as well. So you can see here what is the host name of the rogue machine and so on. I know last month what we've done is when we were done with this meetup, we went back to Discord, and I think we were like 4 or 5 of us that we went through the whole machine. Through the whole challenge, and then answer all the questions in here. So it's another way to kind of supplement a little bit more what we are trying to achieve here. So yeah, so that's something we can do. On the other hand, doing something that would basically be an attack, and then let's say you have Steve on the other side trying to catch me, for example, and then you see all of that. I don't know if we could use one of the tools that's already available out there. I know TryHackMe has something. Well, no, not TryHackMe. I don't know, to be honest. And if we need to build it, that would take a lot of times to be able to get this done. But obviously, this is something like you can see here, my logo, my company, it's all purple. Like I'm based on purple for that sole reason, to be able to do that. I'm showing up a couple of stuff in my courses, but again, it takes a lot of time to be able to present that. So maybe eventually I'll be able to release some interesting bits about what I'm trying to achieve here. That's one piece there. The other piece too, I'd like to run eventually with some of you. It's basically incident response, right? Tabletop exercise type deal. Maybe that's something that Steve and I could run at one point. I think you already have the deck and so on, and we could try to run maybe a deck on incident response just through that exercise. Oh, I think I got it here. Hold on.
I think I might have almost all of the backdoors and breaches.
Yeah, now I realize it's back in Ottawa, so I don't have it with me right now. But BHIS, Black Hill Information Security, something like that. They were really, really good at providing the deck and a bunch of different stuff to me, so I can actually use it for training people. So So yeah, that's something that could be good. And I got Lateral BA says IR tabletop would be cool. I think it would.
Absolutely.
I think it would for sure. And that's something that I'm looking as well with other organizations, probably trying to figure it out if I can bring either immersive labs or I mean, like Hack the Box is probably part of it, I should say. But I don't know up to what point I can present some of their products. So I'm gonna have to dig down a little bit more. I'm talking about for free, right? For a cost, obviously they don't mind if we pay for it, right? But for free, that's where I don't know if I can show these things 100%, right? So I just got to be careful in how I do things. But my goal would be to try to give you as much as possible for free. So good. Do we have any other questions that I'm missing out? No, I think we're
good.
I think we're good on questions. Is there again? You guys, oh, it's already in the channel. Yeah. So again, if any one of you are interested, I mean, there's still 33 people watching the stream right now. So make sure that you sign up to the meetup to be aware about when we are going to produce them. Sign up over there once we release it, so it helps Hack the Box tracking the amount of effort we're doing to move things forward, which is extremely appreciated. All of you must understand as well that you are the reason why we're here. There's a lot of good feedback we're getting, good interaction that we're getting from people, and all that stuff, and keep it coming. Right? That's the goal. That's the reason why we're here. And I think I already said it into Discord. Let me exactly read what I said. It's coming from first Lateral BA. It says, thank you both so much for hosting these and sharing so much knowledge with us. And for me, what I responded is like, we love helping others, which is the primary reason we do it. Absolutely. Your support encourages us to continue, right? So that's extremely important. And to be able to do it stuff for free and having no interaction, that would be a little bit worse. But at this point, I think we're heading in the right direction, and we do appreciate each and every one of you. So before I leave, there's still one thing that we have not given up. It's the 500 cubes, right? I talked about it, 500 cubes on the Academy, and we need to find one person so I can get that person's email and then provide it to Hack the Box so it can get 500 cubes. So for those that don't know exactly what cubes are in the Academy, it's basically money kind of deal, right? Where you can buy a course. So I guess I can show it to you real quick. Okay, I'm on this. Give me a second. I'm just going to go here, and then I'm going to go on the Academy to make sure that I can show it to you. And then I'm not showing stuff I'm not supposed to. I've done that in the past, and that's not how you should do things in cybersecurity. Learning over time, learning. Give me a second. I need to put my one-time password. I think it's coming up. There we go. Okay. Let's get this back up over here. Perfect. I'm taking your spot though. All right. So that's basically the dashboard here for the Academy. Okay. There is a ton of courses. So you're going to see, I mean, like I spent a lot of money on Hack the Box. They moved me to Enterprise, and then I lost everything. So then they gave it back to me, but they gave it back to me at Cube. So that's the reason why I got so much, right? Because I've paid a lot. So right now we have a bunch of different courses. All these ones I already purchased them, right? If we go, is it here? Can I see plans? You can see here, I'm not even subscribed, okay? I'm not even paying a monthly payment or so on. So basically speaking, if I go back to modules, maybe I should make it a little bit bigger, this one too, to make it a little bit easier for folks to read. So if I go back to modules over here, and then let's say all modules, I'm going to, do I have one available on? I think it's available. So if I go to available, I see right now that I have a bunch of different courses that can be purchased that I do not own at this point. So for whatever reason here, I would have been interested by Active Directory LDAP, right? Which is a tier 2 medium offensive, 12 sections. it's 100 cubes to be able to get it. So if I press unlock, right, you're going to see that I'm going to spend, you will spend, it's 10, sorry. Is it 10 for real? Oh yeah, it's 10. That one, it's this one I need to click on, which is 500. Click on this one here. So Active Directory LDAP, 500. So if I go back up, can I see we have 24,456, right? I click on that, unlock, and then it brings me back down. I still don't have an actual subscription in this case, but basically speaking, if right now we're giving you 500 cubes, you could be buying the Active Directory LDAP course, where you can come in now, and then I could get in and then take a look at the actual course that has been created directly for you. If you go with a subscription, you would go, let's say for silver, like if we go back here to purchase cubes, just giving you an example here. If you go for silver annual, you can only go up to tier 2, right? So that would stop you, and that's how much it costs. I think it's in US dollars. And for gold annual, if you wanted to be able to access tier 3, it would cost you well over like almost $1,300 US to be able to get this done, right? To get there. In the case of cubes, once you buy them, you're going to be able to just, you're just going to be able to access it right away. The only caveat that you have to think about, okay, give me a sec. I don't know if I'm allowed to share everything in there, so I'm just going to go here. I'm going to show you at the bottom. Can I see it here? Yeah, okay. Let's get back into it. So now we're at the bottom here, and what we can see is, well, you see an answer. But you see here the questions, and then you can answer them and go through, which is great. The only thing is, if you subscribe, now you're going to be able to see the step-by-step solution for all the questions. When you get the cubes, you cannot do it, right? The other good thing about having access to it, even though you buy the modules, right, you can get access to Pwnbox, right? That will basically give you access to the location. Let's say I do click spawn over here. I'm going to be able to go directly to the machine with this this one. So it's going to be fairly similar to what I showed you in this case here, right? But I'm going to be into the Academy location where I'm going to be able to do the same thing. So you just do full screen over here, and then bang, now you have access to this side. They are not connected, I believe. So see, I'm on a different subnet or different IP address. So everything is different in this case here. So this is the reason why you just have to be careful on how you do things. But when you have access directly to this guy, that's what you can do. The other thing too is what I wanted to say. Yeah, the other thing too is as you answer questions, you get cubes back. Okay, so you see here two. If I go back here, we're gonna see that. Is it here? No, I think it's one before. We're gonna see Active Directory. We have 100 cubes that we can get back. So you will be rewarded with this number of cubes after completing the modules. So if you complete the modules, you get 100 cubes. So basically speaking, you could get 600 cubes right now. You find another one that's, let's say, 10 cubes, you can get 10 cubes back. So you could do another module. So we can't keep adding up. Obviously, you cannot buy another 500 cubes, but it could go quite much further in this case to be able to get this sorted out. But there's a bunch of different courses. So you're looking for being able to go in depth. That's what it is. Yeah. I mean, everything that's in there is very valuable. If we go back up and we are looking for basically a path for I think is it skill path? No, it's job role. So the course I was talking about that I'm saying that I'm going to be doing over here, right? The first one that should be released hopefully soon. I don't have any dates yet, but you guys are going to be aware whenever it's ready to go. So it's basically the Bug Bounty Hunter, right? Where you have 20 modules and then you learn about web requests and so on. So if that's something that interests you eventually, you could basically just like enroll in this one and then now get through the whole thing, right? And once you're done with this one, you can actually go under the My Certificates Is it? Yeah, merge certificates. And then now you can, like whenever you complete, you can actually buy your voucher to be able to do the Bug Bounty Hunter program. So that's exactly what I'm looking at doing. And you guys can actually do it as well. And the cubes will allow to buy some modules, but not necessarily all of them. And that could be a good first step. So yeah, so that's what it is for this part. For those exams. And that's the reason why those cubes are there. So, all right, before I go, so before I go and talk about something else, so ND, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name, I apologize, or Silverius, that's probably better. Yeah, so it was awesome to see you. I don't know if you just left, but it was nice to see you and hope to see you again next time. But before we leave and before we move on or move on to something else, we need to get this one sorted out for the cubes. Do you have questions real quick? Steve, you want to ask? I already gave away 2. I guess it'd be fair to give you 2 as well if you want to. If you don't have a question just yet, I can probably come up with one.
Well, we'll go back to my hunting scenario and the detection piece. So what did I change in Task Manager to be able to see more information about a running process besides just the process name?
Yeah, so that's for 500 cubes on the Academy. You're going to have to come on Discord server to give me your email address so I can share it with Hack the Box. And don't forget, if you join the Discord server for Hack the Box Ottawa Meetup, make sure you accept the rules. And once you accept the rules, you're going to be able to access and see everything else. So there's one answer here, but I don't think that's what you're looking for.
Right. It's under details, but that's not what I'm after. So Abbas, I had to change something to see more information. What was the information that I got?
All right. I don't know. People on X are able to answer questions. Yes. Should be. I mean, like if you've been paying attention, well, I'm saying, sorry, let me retract this, not paying attention, because not everyone just knew about this one. So I apologize if I offended anyone. But if you how can I say that? Listen throughout the whole lesson, at least towards the end, you should be able to understand what he's talking about in here.
Oh, indeed, Silverius and gang. Command line.
This one. There you go. Command line. Sometimes we're looking for something a little bit more specific. So yeah, so make sure you go on CLI command that are being ran. There we go. Make sure you go directly on the Discord server, right, to be able to contact me and then let me know that you've won this. Perfect. All right. Do you guys have any questions or any anything that you'd like us to answer before we go? I'm just writing your name first so I can remember it. No? All right. So yeah, so that's what it is. That's good. So if I build up real quick, if you give me a minute, if I build up real quick on what I was telling you about on the bug bounty. Okay, so there's a question here right now. If I will have a room at B-Side Ottawa, right now I would say that I don't know. We'll see. My plan would be to have one, but I don't know for B-Side, so we'll see. So basically speaking, what I wanted to say here is one I want to work eventually to be able to provide to everyone is a way to be able to get bug bounty hunting certificates, right? Or at least to get the training to get there. And then the next step would be to go to, let's say, HackerOne, for example. And then now we get, let's say, on a bug bounty hunting altogether, where we can start finding out way to find like bugs and then report them. And as we can see here, let's say I'm going to have to probably sort it out, but we can see here there's CVEs that are being found, right? And those CVEs, as we can see here, like there's actual money. So the goal would be to find, not to find a way, but to give you a way. Again, it goes all with dedication and make sure that you move forward. But a path and a way for you to understand that if you have free time, you're looking to be able to get better. Hack the Box is a great tool to help you out. Immersive Labs too. But you can also try Hack Me and the likes. But then if you're looking to make money, that's one of them that could help you out to make money eventually, as long as you're dedicated. Obviously, this is a tough one to go through, but that would be a goal to get there. See, GitHub, $1,000. Source code and data exfiltration via GitHub Copilot. So, wow, look at that. Handling in Copilot client interface, a prompt injection initiated attack was able to resolve data exfiltration. Wow. Sometimes they give the exact way on how they were able to do it. And the person got $1,000 for that. If we go back again. Do we have another one? Oh, let's go for the top one. Let's go for the top one. Highest bounty. Apply. There's more than this. I mean, I don't think they're disclosing everything. I've seen 25,000. I've talked to them as well, HackerOne at one point, and they were, I think they told me at one point they had like a bounty for $125,000, and that's all US. And again, I'm not saying that you would get that 100%, right? It all go with dedication. It all go with like if you're looking in the right spot at the same time, and everything lines up. So it's not a given, but at least if you're looking at, I don't know, most of the time you play video games and you're looking for a way to be able to kind of supplement or change completely those video games, that you want to be able to do something that you could learn for your job, but also at the same time that you can potentially earn money. That's one way to do it, right? There's even like, I know I listened to someone, he's a doctor in the Netherlands, and he decided to quit being a doctor to just do this full time, and he's earning more money and he likes it better. It's also work from home, by the way, right? So you can see here GitLab, XSS, email confirmation bypass as well, PayPal, Shopify, PlayStation. Oh, PlayStation, there you go. So you get to work on big companies, like stuff that, I don't know, you're playing games on PlayStation and then now you get to do it. So that's stuff that can be very interesting. And some of them in there, like there's one that was Snapchat I was looking at, maybe not here. Is it this one? Oh, that's the one. There we go. That's the one I saw last time. And that's exactly what they were saying. So first you go to Snapchat, my post, and log in there, right? You will see your posts. Now turn on Burp Suite and intercept, select any of your posts and click delete option. So now capture the delete request. In delete request, there is a primary ID, which is right there, like it's hidden right now. But basically speaking, like if you know the ID here, right, you just have to go collect the video ID of others, like other videos, and then you put it there, and you could delete the whole thing. Like if you hate someone, you could have deleted like all the videos from that creator. That would have been bad, right? And that's something that this person actually found out. And that's not complicated, right? It's just like intercepting, finding out the information, figure it out that IDs are there. Again, this is all a puzzle. And then just figure it out. Like, I don't know, you create your own videos, you delete your own, and then you realize, oh yeah, that's an issue. So yeah, so that's all the stuff that needs to be looked at for sure. And that's something that could be very interesting for us to be able to, Malvik Security, to grab you along the way to get this done and find the actual vulnerabilities. And one of us could, could actually find a job. Talking about job, there's another place too here on Hack the Box you can go. If we go here, job board, right? Jobs. So there's a couple of things. I mean, they're not all recent, but you can see there's a bunch of different locations depending on where you're at. You might be able to get part of it. For me, I'm a pro hacker, so obviously I may have more than you guys. The way to be able to get those type of positions there, or at least showing up or being able to apply to those jobs, is that you need to complete machines. So you could do, let's say, seasons. You could do those machines, but you need to do the one that are active, right? So if you go here in active machines, it's very like it's easy enough to know that it's this, right? Retired machines are the one that are not going to give you any points. And then you can come here and then start hacking that machine. So by hacking those machines, you get points. And by getting points, eventually, okay, let me see. I don't want to disclose too much information just in case. I'm going to go to my profile, and then if I can share, if I can share that, I'll share it. Is there anything? No. Okay, we're good.
JF, I think I'm going to have to bounce. I've got someone waiting for me upstairs, but
okay. Give me a minute. We're pretty much done. And if people are talking, I'll let you leave. Give me a minute, and then we buy it to everyone. All right. So you can see here Pro Hacker, and then you can see that you can accumulate points. I haven't done much lately, right? But you can accumulate points and bring this up even higher to be able to get there. And that's how you're going to be able to get this. As you complete those challenges, it just goes up, and then good to go. And then you get ranks and so on. So yeah, so I will stop there. I don't see anybody keep talking, and then I think we're good to go. So happy to have all of you guys here. It was really it was awesome to have those discussions, and I'm really looking forward to be able to go even further with this. So do not hesitate. Subscribe directly to Meetup. Join us on Discord. Add us. I should probably come back here. Add us directly on social media, right? And then I'd be happy to be able to talk with you. Obviously, we are limited onto how much time we can spend, but if it's a quick one, at least for me, I don't mind helping out a little bit, right? Absolutely. So on this, really appreciate to have all of you here. Again, if you weren't here, we wouldn't be doing this. So we appreciate it really much. So yeah, thank you very much. And the people that won, just make sure you contact me directly on LinkedIn. Sorry, not LinkedIn. Discord. Yeah. Thank you. So do you have departing words that you'd like to say, Steve?
No, just thanks. Thanks so much, everybody. This is awesome. And happy to keep doing it. Love that everyone's showing up. Thank you so much.
All right. Cheers, everyone.
Take care.
Happy hacking. Bye.